What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, Austin Holloman. We have another live stream. We didn't do one yesterday because yesterday was my 25th birthday. I just turned 25. And thank you very much for everybody that dropped Cash App donations to go towards the turkey trip and every other exclusion or excursion that we have going on right now. But we're going to do another podcast today, and we are going to interview somebody that you guys seen on camera with me before. We're going to interview him about a very debated topic, well debated topic in this space. But before we get to that, let me give you guys an update on the residency thing, right? You guys know I'm trying to get residency in Paraguay. I got my birth certificate apostilled, my fingerprints apostilled, and you guys know I just went to Brazil the other day. For some reason, people don't believe me, but I did. I have better stuff to do than lie about stuff like that. So I went to Brazil, got my stamp out of Paraguay into Brazil, then out of Brazil back into Paraguay. Well, the problem is when I tried to go into Paraguay, they wouldn't let me in because apparently I have been in and out of this country almost 5 times since this year. 4 or 5, at least 4 times, but let's say 5 times since this year started. So they told me I would have to go back to Brazil, go to the consulate, get a visa from the Brazilian consulate, and then I can come back to Paraguay. The thing is, I have most of my stuff with me, but I have some essential stuff that I still need in my other Airbnb in Paraguay. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do now because they won't let me back into Paraguay. So we're gonna at this point we have to travel through Brazil. I can't go back to Paraguay. So we'll talk about that more later. But let's go ahead and get into today's discussion. We have the one and only Fearless Podcast. This is a great guy. I met him in person in Dallas. He treated me for my birthday. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. And him and his wife are very good people. Very, very good people. And guys, keep the comments. I'm going to turn the chat off for him today because I don't want him to be distracted by the chat because y'all like to say stuff that'll get him distracted. But we really got to get to these questions today. So we're going to have a serious talk about this. And let's go ahead and bring him up. What's going on?
Austin, keep that chat on, man. That's entertaining to me.
Yeah, it is entertaining. It is.
So you can turn that chat on. It's funny. First of all, brother, happy birthday to you. I sent you a shout out yesterday. Glad that you were able to celebrate. So because I'm not there with you, I got my cigar ready.
Thank you.
So I'm going to smoke one on your behalf. Glad to see you made it there safely and made it through these 25 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So would you go ahead and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into the questions.
Yes, Fearless from Fearless Travels. I actually have two channels. Fearless Travels is more of the travel channel. Then I have Fearless Podcast where I talk about some, tricky subjects, relationships, things from a male perspective. Traveling for, probably I've been traveling older than you are. So probably about 30 years. I've forgotten the countries. I have a scratch off board that gives it to me. So I still need to update that, maybe 32, possibly more at this point. So I was traveling before there was a thing called the passport bros, before it was ever even invented. We were traveling for different reasons through that time. And we'll talk about some of that as we go through.
Okay, so that's interesting. So can you share what initially drew you to the DR to search for a wife?
Yes, but there's a quote from Malcolm X that says, "Why I am as I am, and to understand that of any person his whole life from birth must be reviewed. All experiences fuse us into our personality, and everything that happened is an ingredient of us." So my story doesn't start in DR. You said what drew me there to get there. I had been traveling way before DR. DR was more the last stop on my travel ventures. I think my first trip was when I was about 20. I went to Jamaica. So I went to like an all-inclusive. And that's where I got like the bug to travel. I enjoyed that. So I was taking cruises at that point. I actually happened to meet a girl who went to the Peace Corps. So she was in Micronesia, which is in the Marshall Islands. So I traveled to Polynesia, Micronesia, Melanesia. So if you know the place where you got black people with blonde hair and blue eyes, that's Melanesia. So I was
Really?
more in the Thailand, Fiji, New Zealand. So I had been all through there. I had gone to DR, but that was more when I had a girlfriend in the United States, and we were going to Punta Cana for vacation. So when I had gone there, I was like, yeah, it's nice, but I'm on a resort, and it wasn't really spectacular to me. It was resort life, and I had brought someone with me. Later on, a friend of mine, we had talked about Dominican Republic, and he said, "You been to DR?" I'm like, "Yeah, been there a few times. Been to the resort." He's like, "No, have you been to Santo Domingo?" I'm like, "Nah, I never been there." He's like, "Look, that's where you need to go." So I scheduled my trip to Santo Domingo, and it was entirely different than being in Punta Cana. Punta Cana is more like going, if you're in the States, it's like going to Iowa. It's really in the country. So you get a lot of, it's more, in the country besides the resorts. When I went to Santo Domingo, I got off the plane, and actually the first girl I talked to was in the duty-free shop, and she had me hooked. And from then on, I was going there once every 6 weeks. Back then, it was entirely different. You guys have a great advantage. When I was going, there was no such thing as a translator. You didn't have a GPS. There was no way to talk to a person, call a person, or anything. So my travels, even before DR, I've met women all across the world. I've been in relationships with women all across the world. The difference is you have to understand there's a time difference. When I was talking to these women, there wasn't like the internet. People may have had the internet, but it wasn't as prevalent as now. Even when I started going to DR, the girls didn't have a personal computer. So they would be going to like a cyber cafe, and there was no free data, no free Wi-Fi. So it was really hard to keep any type of relationship going long distance. I'm not sure how old you are, but there was probably a time when you lived in Dallas and you wanted to call Houston or vice versa, and that was a long distance phone call. It wasn't like a local call. So keeping up with any type of long distance relationship just never happened. So most of my relationships were in the United States, just because I would go there for fun, enjoy, but I couldn't maintain anything. I wasn't $2 a phone call and a minute to call somebody. I wasn't doing that. Letters, to go those places are unreliable. So it was just there for the moment. But like I said, then when I finally went to Santo Domingo, it just changed me. I was like, wow, I can actually spend some time here. I can get to know people. And, I got it out the mud. You guys are kind of lucky because, like you said, you can do a translator. You can do a GPS and get around. You can find the restaurants. None of that. You used to have to get an orange card, which looks like a credit card, scratch off the numbers and be able to talk to somebody. You had to put those minutes on your phone. So I had met fine women. You guys are saying Colombia is dangerous now. I didn't go to Colombia because back then it was really dangerous. It was like a drug narco. So I had gone, but it wasn't a place I wanted to frequent. So when I finally went to DR, that's when I started to really get into like the Latin community. My Spanish was up, and I was going there so often, I developed long-term relationships. So what made me go there was I had been going for a few years. I had a girlfriend in the United States. And as you know, when it's still the United States is still the same. She was fine. She was beautiful. But the finer they were in the United States, the more trouble it was. She just expected she didn't have to do anything. I'm fine. I don't cook. I'm fine. I don't clean. I look good and you should be happy. And it was entirely different when I went to DR. Everybody looked like her. She was common. Everybody had long hair, beautiful shape. But they were going over and beyond for a man. And so the more I went there, the less I wanted to be in relationships in the United States, because the juice wasn't worth the squeeze after a while. So that's what made me go there, and what made me stay there was the quality of the people, the culture, the food, the entire type of living. And I remember staying in a hotel, and we just called it a dime factory. Every chick that came down from that hotel was a dime. So you start getting accustomed to that lifestyle.
Wow. Okay, that was a really, really good answer. That was a really, really good answer. I'm gonna chop that into its own little video. So, what qualities? You already kind of brought it up. You basically answered my second question. My second question was,
Oh, we
what
can go through
qualities
them
did
all.
you?
I got them written, so we can go through them all. I'll extend on some, but go ahead.
Okay, what qualities did you see in your wife that made you trust her intentions towards moving to the United States? So I guess you didn't answer that. What about her made you say, okay, I feel comfortable bringing her, no worries?
No problem. No matter where you are, men do not know how to vet. I don't know, there's a skill to it. They don't know how to vet women. You cannot trust a big butt and a smile. I've had that. And so what I found is I looked at it as though it was like gymnastics. If you watch gymnastics, the number one person is a person who wins the all around. That means they've done the ground exercise, the horse, the uneven bars. They might not have been the best in every category, but overall, they were the best. So that's what was the initial part, that I've been with women who better bodies, may look better, but they always lack something. So what are the things that made me go? She was educated. I know a lot of people say, I can get a girl at McDonald's. Well, I didn't want to bring a girl that only has skills to work at McDonald's to the United States. So I needed to know that she had a skill level, or she was at least willing to learn once she got to the United States. For instance, if she did not speak proper Spanish, what makes you think she's going to speak proper English? If she was unwilling to learn English while she was there, she's not going to learn English here. And it's going to make it very difficult. You're always going to be the person that has to speak the other language. My thing was, I always vetted women in a few ways. What is it that she can do for me? What is she bringing to the table? How is she going to make my life easier? And she sampled those things when I was there. The question that I always ask a woman when I would go out with them, and it's almost like a test question. They say, hey, you want to go get something to eat, like on a first date? Yeah. Where would you like to go? And that's going to tell me a lot about her. The reason is she going to pick the most expensive restaurant, someplace she ain't never been? Is she going to find out what I want and say, well, I know you like this, so this restaurant will be befitting to you? And a lot of guys, they get a girl who, they pick the highest top restaurant. They order the lobster that they never had, and they're not looking out for your bottom line and your wallet. So I needed to make sure, one, she was looking out for my bottom line, my wallet. What was the relationship with her family? Did she have a relationship with her family? Because as you know, in those cultures, the family can be very judgmental, and they can position if they're going to be good or bad. So was, her mom loose out there? Did her mom judge her? Was her father in her life? So those are things. Her friends, who did she hang around? Was her friends sluts? If her friends were sluts, she was going to be a slut. Who was her previous partners? Was she with the hood dudes, or was she with educated people? Another fact was, she had already been to the United States. So her father had worked in customs, and her mother was a journalist. So the flair of, oh, I want a passport, I need to go to the US, it was not prevalent with her. In actuality, she didn't want to come to the United States. She had a government job. Life was easier there. So to her, it was an inconvenience to come here. So if you meet a girl who had never traveled out of wherever she's at, and now she says, this is her meal ticket. So you, like Austin, you meet a chick, you become her meal ticket. I wasn't the meal ticket, because she had the experience had already done. She had family that lived in New York, family in the United States. She had traveled here. So that flair was gone. So my thing was, has she ever traveled? Another question, does she have traditional values? The first time I was there, I got cooked for, brought over to the family. I seen how her grandmother was like, you need to serve your man. You got to do this. So those are the things I also look for. Another, how she reacted to gifts. Man, you bring a girl them gifts, you know, they always say, oh, is it a brand gift? Is it this gift? You know, if I can bring her something simple, she's like, oh man, this is the best thing I've had. This is nice. You know, you just gave me a hat with my name on it. I'm gonna wear that hat all the time. All right, now we can go. Also, since I was going into the corporate world, I needed a lady that I could bring to corporate events. If she had different colored hair, long nails, fake butt, fake titties, fake eyelashes, you get judged. A guy, other men and other women are going to look at you by the person you have by your side. They're going to judge you by that. And I didn't want to be judged in that sense. I wanted to have the person beside me be able to go to the nightclub and then also go to the corporate office and be able to be comfortable in both situations. You know, another thing is social media. I know guys that have dated girls for years, and you go to that girl's social media and you don't see no pic of that man. I'm like, how do you say she love you? You hidden. She don't have no pic. Y'all at a restaurant, and all of a sudden she has pics of her, the dinner, the food, the drink, the bill, and you're nowhere in the picture. Why would you bring a chick like that to the United States? She doesn't value you. So I wanted to make sure if we were dating, am I in the social pics? How does she treat me around her other friends? Am I up here? You know, is she valuing me, or am I, you know, someone to be secret? Let's see. Am I the topic of conversation with her friends? You know, I remember we were somewhere and a girl said, I don't want to know about him. It's your boyfriend. I want to know about you. Because every conversation she had, she referenced me. It was like, oh, my boyfriend this. And where do you like to go? Oh, well, my boyfriend goes this. So I was the topic of that conversation. So those are the things that I vetted to make sure she was the person that I was going to bring. I know that was long, but I had a long list.
Hey, I'm actually taking some notes myself. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video myself again. That's some really good information. Very good information. So, wow. Especially her referencing you in every conversation. I've had that happen before, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's, you know, the foreign women, in my opinion, are better, but that doesn't mean you always come across women that are that interested in you like that. So you still, like you said, you still have to vet. Just because it's better doesn't mean it's perfect, you know. So you still have to look out for all these things that you're describing. I would agree. So how did you come to the decision? You pretty much been answering a lot of these questions. How did you come to the decision to bring your wife to live with you in Texas?
Well, would it be live with me in Texas or actually live in the United States?
Let's say United States.
All right. Well, let's start with the Texas. I think you have another question about the United States. I was actually in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I got an opportunity. The headquarters that I worked for moved to Dallas, Texas. So I said, I'm going to take an opportunity. I left her in my house. I said, hey, you know, you in the house by yourself. I had to be gone for a year because I had another purpose that I had to go through. And I said, this is an opportunity I can't miss. Take care of this, and I'm gone. Remember I said educated? Mm-hmm. The reason it was easy to bring her to Texas was there's a lot of Latinos in Texas. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She became bilingual. Mm-hmm. You know how easy it is for someone who speaks 2 languages to get a job? Mm-hmm. It was easy to bring her down here and do it. There's a lot of Latino community. So it was easy for her to find a job. It was easy for her to mix in with the other Latino community. So that was a no-brainer to bring her here. It was actually a much easier adjustment to come here than when we lived in Ohio, just because you have stores and things like that would cater to the more Latino community.
Okay. So that's a good answer as well. You get, because you're pretty much answering his.
Oh no, we'll go through them, brother. Let's fire them out. And as I said, you can turn on your comments. We can roll with those guys too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in full observation mode right now. I'm just listening at this point because it's
No
very
problem.
interesting. So, who expressed concerns about your decision? This is a good one. Who expressed concerns about your decision to marry and bring your wife back to the United States? And what were their main points? Like a mother or a friend or a dad or somebody that was like, I don't know, you should do this. She might want a green card or she might just monkey branch as soon as you get here. Who were those people in your life?
Actually, I had friends that had gone to DR, so they had met her before that. The enemies or the people who expressed concerns were my friends. My friends was like, look, man, you done hit everybody. You ain't never settled down. You out here screwing the world. You a whore. Why ruin that good woman? So I got more benefits from my friends where they were just like, I was the person who Christmas dinner, I'd have Thanksgiving dinner, I bring one chick to the family. Christmas dinner, I bring another one, and that ain't the same one I'm gonna have next year. Somebody's gonna be there on Easter. So nobody ever seen me settle down. The concern was with my family, why are you gonna ruin somebody? When it became with her family, her friends were the same way. Uh, you know, you're gonna go all the way to the United States. You're going to leave us behind. So, her mother was concerned. She had always lived with her mother. And it's not like you're 2 hours away anymore. It's not like I can just call you or go see you. You're hours away. What is it? The other thing was, like you said, what happens if she comes here and just wants a green card? Okay. We kind of already solved that because she could have come here as a tourist all she wanted. She just chose not to. They were like, are you going to have, you're going to have to marry that girl. Are you ready for marriage? There's no time in my life that I see that I wanted to get married. It wasn't on my spectrum to get married. So I really had to adjust to that type of lifestyle. Another thing was my concerns is how would she treat me if I didn't have anything? A lot of guys say, man, if I lose it all, what happens? Well, I had solved that problem before I came. That was one reason I was hesitant to get married, because I said to her, I said, look, I'm leaving my job. I'm about to go into IT. I'm going full force. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to be broke. She was like, we'd be broke together. She's like, I'd rather be with you and eat rice and eggs than not be with you at all. So it let me know, can I do it? Her family was concerned because they wanted to make sure that, she was protected. She wasn't going to be around any type of family here. Her family would be in New York and I'm far from New York. And it's like, you're taking my daughter away from us. Are you going to protect her? How can we entrust that you're going to do that? How is your lifestyle that you're going to do it? Are you going to hurt her? So that was really the concerns. But like I said, a lot of the concerns came from my family. They just had never seen me settle down. They seen me, I was a whoremonger. And so they were, really concerned. Once you met her, her personality was so sweet and so innocent that they just felt that I was like going to corrupt her. So the concern was more on my part than on her part.
Wow. Okay, that I could see all that you're saying. So let me read a couple of these super chats. We'll go to the next question. This one's a little off topic. He says, you wanted to go to Brazil. Now they won't let you leave. You got gypsy curse. May you get what you want, but you may get what you get. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yes. Not stuck in Brazil, but I just can't get back into Paraguay. I appreciate that super chat, Malcolm. The next one is Brandon Hayes says, all I know is I've seen amazing and beautiful foreign-born Black women come to the United States and slowly but surely lose all the sweetness of their culture over time. Good intentions aren't enough to stop the powerful influences here.
Can I address that? You don't know how to vet a woman, man. When I was even in the United States, I don't deal with hood chicks. I don't deal with chicks that don't have nothing to lose. I've been through all of that. When you deal with that type of woman and you can't see who she is, you're going to get played whether she a foreign chick or she an American chick. It doesn't matter. If you can't see who she really is and you have not tested her, vetted her, put her through that, every chick is going to show you some red flags. You just choose to ignore them. You overlook them. You're like, I can get by that. Yeah, she cheated on that dude. She won't cheat on me. All of those red flags, y'all don't observe it. And then you go to places and then expect a different outcome. I'm not familiar with you may know better than me, Austin. Where in Dallas are like the prostitutes? Is it like Harry Hines or something
Harry
like that?
Hines.
Would I go to Harry Hines and find a wife? So why would I go to Sasua and look for the same thing? It makes no sense. Guys go to those areas and they expect something different. The woman was uneducated when she was in her country. She didn't have a job in her country. She was asking you for money in her country. She was not self-sufficient. So what makes you think that she's going to be different when she comes here? When you are a person that can already stand on your square, you already know who you are. No amount of money is going to change that. She had a moral foundation. She had morality. She couldn't do things because, one, she was afraid. And this is another thing, how you vet a woman. How does she see that her family will see her? So if you have a woman that can post anything, they can post booty shots on YouTube or Instagram. They can thought thing like that because her family don't care. But when you have a girl whose family judges her, cares about her, and she cares about the opinion of them, you won't face that. Her mom is more of an advocate for me than she is. Her mom will say, she doing you right? I mean, when I joke with her mom, I'm like, nah, she ain't cook all week. She'll think I'm being serious. She'll go off on like, why aren't you cooking for him? What do you mean? Why did you let him do that? So if you don't know how to vet and don't know how to look for that, you're gonna have a problem no matter what girl you date, man, or no matter what country you in.
I would agree. So can you describe the process of moving your wife from the DR to United States, and what were the major steps that were involved?
Money, and more money. So even if your girl not asking you for money, she never had asked me for anything. The process of moving a chick here, the government is going what they cut all the time. That means you going to the embassy, you got to pay those fees. So not just that. So in Dominican Republic, the embassy is in Santo Domingo. So you got to pay for her to get from wherever she at there. This embassy opens at 7 a.m. So you're not getting there at 7 a.m. You spend a night, that's hotel. I got to fly there because I got to go through the interview process. Every step that you take within that process costs you money. She got to get a medical evaluation before she comes. When you come here to the United States, they got to do fingerprints and all that. You buying a plane ticket. When she comes to the United States, all she's going to have is a suitcase. That's her life. Her life is in that suitcase for the rest of her life. I was in Ohio. She came in December. She never seen the snow. She didn't have no boots. She didn't have no coat. She didn't have no gloves, no scarf. So all of those things had to be provided. So, you coming out of pocket for all of that. The tourist visa, it's difficult to get. A lot of people don't get that. And there's a process that people don't understand when you bring someone. So I can't just say I'm getting married. That's good. You have to have a whole history of you being together. When you show up to the consulate, they want to know, let's see some pictures. Let's see some evidence. Did y'all meet yesterday? How long y'all been together? How many years? You know his family? They'll separate you and start asking questions to know, is this a sham marriage? Do you really know that person? Guys don't understand this. You have to be financially responsible. When you bring somebody here, you have to show that you make so much more over the poverty level for two people, that you can sufficiently support whomever you're bringing. If you don't make that money, you into drugs and you ain't got no bank account, you can't show it on your taxes, they're not bringing nobody over here because they figure she's going to be a hindrance on society. And they're just not going to allow somebody to come over and be a hindrance on society. So all of those things are challenges. When she gets here, she can't work. When you come to the United States, you can't work. You got to go through a work visa. Also, there's another thing that they give them that allows them to work and allows them to travel. But you don't get that immediately. You're not going to have that. Every time you change status, you go from K1 visa to green card visa, from green card citizen, whatever, you paying about $1,000 straight to the government. They want their money. And you got to pay the government. So people don't understand not only the process to get somebody here, it's a daunting process. It doesn't happen overnight, but there's an expense involved. Even if you're not, the expense doesn't come with the girl. It comes with the government. It comes with all the things you got to do just to make it there. So there's an expense involved in that.
So, and I don't know if you said this already, but what would you say is like a guesstimate of what you would spend in, let's say, the first 5 years on visas and just shopping? Like, what would be a ballpark estimate of what it would take to get on their feet?
All right. So she's a citizen now. So you figure we went through each of those. So that's at least $4,000 because that's $1,000 a pop every time you're changing status. Before she didn't work, so I had to get clothes for her. Buying clothes, automobile, gas, food, and then you're not going to have someone, and we'll discuss this later on. But do you want her to be a prisoner to your house? That's why they get divorced. You bring somebody up here, and all of a sudden you think you got to conform to me. You can't go nowhere. She's been in her country for 20, 25, 30 years, however long she's been there. She misses her family. She got to go back. She's going to want a phone. All of those things add up. So maybe, for 5 years, oh man. Well, I guess as I made more money, it became more that I would spend. But just for the process, I'd say at least 10,000 just for the process. I can't do clothes because I don't know what she buys. She'll buy whatever clothes she wants.
Yeah, so it sounds like about $100,000 in that first 5 years.
Oh, you don't spend it. You don't spend it.
Yeah. When you start adding in all the stuff you got to buy along the way. Yeah. One more super chat before we go to the next question. James Morton says, "I will never marry under the United States family court system. I no longer need to be in the USA to make money. I only want to enjoy my money now." Which, I mean, you could do that. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going back. But it's just a conversation. You guys, I just want to have all different angles, whether if I agree with it or not. I mean, I'm not even in the marriage stage, so I really don't have a solid opinion on this, but I'm just learning along the way. And I want to have people understand somebody else's viewpoint. So what challenges would you say you faced getting her work visa, getting her citizenship, the visa immigration process? Besides money, what were some other challenges?
Through every process, just not the initial process, you still have to show your relationship is viable. So, there's people that have come up here and, they marry for money. Like, some people in another country will pay somebody in the United States to marry them, then they'll live separate. So you have to show, no, it's viable. We live together, we share taxes together. Other challenges, working. She can't work. That becomes difficult. Language. She doesn't speak the language. So my wife got mad at me because previously, my language, we would only speak Spanish. And I said, all right, when you come up here, you got 3 months. 3 months. You can watch all the novellas you want. You can listen to every Romeo song that you want to. After 3 months, it's a wrap. Why? Because I knew that there's a stereotype in the United States that if you only speak Spanish, they start to think you're poor. They start to think, oh, you're not as intelligent. I made her work at a hotel. She's like, I never did this. I said, you know why you're going to work there? Because I want to show you what other Latinos do. The ones who are not educated, the ones who don't speak the language, the ones who don't put forth the effort. They're going to be making this minimum wage. When I was in Kentucky, I was in Louisville, Kentucky for a job, and she worked there. And she realized then, nope, I think she had only been here maybe 6 months. She's like, oh no, I got to learn English. I got to do these things. I got to be much better because I do not see my life doing something like this. I'm way beyond that. I'm a bachelor's degree and I can't be educated like that. Some of the other challenges, credit. you guys don't know. They don't have credit when they come here. So, your wife doesn't have it. So one thing I had to do was I had to get a credit card and put her name on it so that I could buy things and I could establish credit with her. So now she has, over 800 score credits, so she can buy things. It helps you out, especially if you want to get a house. You both are on there. It's going to say, okay, yeah, you got a good credit score and she got 500, or she doesn't have any credit. That's never going to be good. And I wanted to set it up just in case if something happened to me, she got to be in a good position. She got to make sure that that's right. So I think a lot of people don't even know about the credit. Citizenship, man, that was a process, bro. We went through when it was COVID, and so we were still taking trips. They did not change her status, so she had a piece of paper that every time we went somewhere, she had to bring in order to get back into the United States. So it was easy to leave, but when you head back through immigration, U.S. citizens go here and we go there. So we would travel a lot, and so it's suspicious. Hey, you're Dominican and you've been to Colombia how many times? Come on, step this way. What drugs you carrying? So not being a U.S. citizen was always difficult. I remember she got a speeding ticket. She was balling because when you go to court, what they say is, are you a citizen? It's like, no, I'm not a citizen. And then it's a mandatory thing that judges read. Well, that through breaking a law, you can be deported back to United or back to wherever you came from. And they're like, that's a speeding ticket. They don't do that for a speeding ticket. But she's emotional. She doesn't know. She's like, oh man, I'm getting sent back. This is crazy. So, those are some of the challenges that happen.
Wow. Well, I'm pretty sure she was pretty scared. She thought she was going to be sent back, because that'd be a hell of an inconvenience. So how has your life changed since your wife moved to the United States with you?
Healthier. So why am I healthier? One, she wants me to live longer. So she cooks for me. She makes sure, as a young guy, Austin, young guys, we think we live forever. Mm-hmm. I don't go to the doctor. Ain't no need to. I don't feel nothing. So she changed all that. She's like, nah, I need you around. You need to start, even though you may look good on the outside, I need to make sure you look good on the inside. So you need to get these physicals. You need to make sure that you've done that. Staying more fit, more athletic. I don't take the risk that I used to take. I used to have a Hayabusa motorcycle, and I used to drive that thing on the highway no less than 160, no helmet, no nothing. Wow. I said, yeah, I can't do that no more, because now I have somebody else to be responsible for. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I became more patient. I used to be like this hothead, angry all the time, getting high blood pressure just from doing that. It taught me patience. She taught me the softer side, because I was not as selfish. I always thought, it's just me. As long as I got me, I'm cool. I can't depend on nobody else but me. And she let me know, you can depend on me. I'm in your corner. Put all that weight on me. I got you. It allowed me to think of the future more. So, I was always living for the moment, because I was in the moment. And it was like, I'm having fun for now. But it changed me, because now I got to think for the future. I got to think, okay, what happens in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? How will my legacy be? How will things happen? So those are things that changed when you bring somebody up. Your social life becomes different. The food you do become different. My free time became different. And we'll talk about it a little later, but I'll tip on it. I think Anton Daniels from his show talked about, he had a twin. He's like, a twin. He's like, I taught my wife how to do everything as though it was me. So now there's two of me out there. So just imagine, Austin, you have your girl, and you can teach her how to edit all your videos. You can teach her how to shoot your videos, create the thumbnails, and all you got to do is video. You can video all day, and somebody else can take care of all that slack. Your consultation, she scores. All of this, somebody has. If you just freeing up, 20 to 25% of your time, how much more you could make. And that's what I had to learn, to be able to say, all right, let me get a responsibility and delegate. So it really taught me to delegate and be more of a leader, to trust other people with some responsibility. And in doing so, I could even advance myself a lot further.
Wow. Very good tips. Very good tips, especially about the basically the twin that can do everything.
Mhm.
I've thought about that, but I'm really going to have to consider that now that you're breaking that down to me. So,
Even if you just got a female friend, you got somebody you can show how to do something. Uh,
yeah.
it seems more. If somebody takes 20% of your doing 20%, you can actually double what you're doing. You'll double it.
Hmm.
You know, just imagine how much time you spend cooking, shopping, going for food, laundry, those little things. You know, I got to answer this, I got to do that. If somebody took all those things for you, and that little bit of time you can spend on doing what you want, oh, you double what you have.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's just like if I do this interview with you, and then after I in the live stream, everything else is handled by somebody else. I get exactly what you mean. So,
Mhm.
how has your wife adapted to life in Texas, and what challenges did she face?
Texas is a little easier. One, because as you know, it's near the border. It's a border state, so you have a lot of Latinos here. So the fact that you can speak another language, you have that, is much easier. Um, Adapted. She wasn't used to the type of racism.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what? And I'm not just talking about black, white racism. I'm talking about um, racism from Latinos. So, she works in an area where, people would ask her, because she's like this happy person, happy go lucky. They'd be like, oh, I hear so much about your husband. Show me a picture. In their mind, they think I'm a white dude with blonde hair and blue eyes. Because it would seem like that's the type of person she would date. Like, oh, you're not going to date these Negroes. So that's
Hmm.
a surprise to her. And that comes from like the white community. From the black community, she had to adapt because in her country, like all of her cousins, it's like, oh, we take care of our man. We cook. It's just a natural thing that they do. And you get here and, you go to an African American girl, you cooking for him? What you mean? What you mean he gets your paycheck? Girl, he don't, it's that negative thing that they got to get. So it's trying to adapt to that. In the Latino community, we don't have even in the States, us as black men do not have the best reputation. So, if you're around a lot of Latinos and they're around each other, their question is, why you marry a black dude? Why you marry African American? You don't look like that person. It seems like you would do it. And, their thing is he rich? Because he may not look that good. Did you marry him for money? So those are the things that they had to get accustomed to. Making new friends. You come back to Dallas, you've been in Dallas all your life. You have friends. You know, Now you have to go somewhere new and make new friends all over again. So, that was a good thing. The great thing about being in like Dallas or Texas is you have communities where there's like Venezuelans, Mexicans, Dominicans. So it's groups where they play softball, they get together. So that has been easier to adapt. I think it was much more harder to adapt when we were in Ohio. You got snow, you got people, there's not a large Latino community and even smaller Dominican community. Um, then they have this perception for whatever reason in DR or out of the country when they say, where are you from? Everybody's got to be from like New York. It's like the United States is just New York or Florida, Miami. That's all they know. So when you say, oh, I live here, it's like, oh, you in the country. So that adaptation was a little bit different.
So would you say you said she had to find new friends? Has it ever been a concern to you of her new friends getting in her head, or did you vet her friends as well?
I don't vet her friends. She actually vets her friends. So she lets them, I think, I don't know how much she wants me to say, but she had a boss, and the girl at her job said to her, she's like, "Oh, you know the boss is single," and she's like, "Look, don't even put that out there. Don't put me in that same conversation, because I don't want the stain of somebody thinking or even having that perception." So she cuts it off before there's ever even a perception of it. You know, I mean, I'm the one that's a little dangerous. So like if you go to her YouTube page, you'll see everything clean. I'm the one that posts all kinds of crazy stuff. To her, the perception is out there. So I've never had to vet her friends. I've never had to say you can talk to this person. She actually does that because she just says, as a wife, here's the type of wife I represent, and I'm a representation of you. And because I'm a representation of you, I don't even want that. I know she was, for instance, she was in a group, like a WhatsApp group, and it was like a high school, from back in high school, and guys would be sending all kinds of crazy stuff. And she's like, "Look, you can't send me that, because what happens if my husband gets my phone? You know, he may not understand the context behind it. So I can't be perceived with that." And there was a friend of hers who wanted her to go on a girls' trip. She's like, "All right, well, you know, where we going?" She's like, "Oh, I'm going there and I'm going to meet this guy." She's like, "I can't do that." She's like, "What make you think I can be with you and some other guy?" The perception there is entirely bad. And I don't even want to be in that perception. So I never had to vet friends. I've never been a controlling person like that. I think that's one of the arguments she has. She says she wish I was more jealous, but I let her do it, and I vetted beforehand. So I don't need to continually vet. It's like when you get hired, you went through your background check. I don't have to keep background checking you once we're there.
Wow. Okay. Very good answer. So what benefits would you say you've observed from your wife, for your wife? Like, what have been her benefits in her life since she came to the United States?
The benefits. All right, let's say travel to the Latino community is easy. If you look at from North America, Central America, South America, it's 35 countries. 31 of those countries speak Spanish. The benefit, I can go to all of them. And I got somebody who got my 6. I don't have to say nothing. She can translate for me. She knows, you know, the game that's going to play. She can speak English so they don't know, and she can just listen and say, they don't have your best interest in mind, or they're trying to set you up for something. So it always has my best interest in heart. What's changed with her? She became more goal oriented. So like she just got her master's degree. It gave me more time to focus and focus on small things. So those were the benefits. The things that I didn't have time for, now I have time for. Man, you know, just imagine if you, like in DR, you haven't been to DR, but you go to Brazil or you go somewhere and they speak the local language. All of a sudden your taxi ride just became half the price it was. You just save money. You know, you get to see what the locals do. I'm not as nice. I'm not the nice guy. How has it benefited me? I used to walk. There was a gentleman from work that I used to walk with. He used to walk to work. He used to come over. He lived maybe 3 blocks away. We used to walk on Saturday and Sunday. He had started off real heavy, like 300 pounds. Now he's like 150 pounds. I say that because of this. I didn't network. I really ain't talk. I'm walking with my headphones on. I'm just like, man, I'm just here to do it. She would talk to him. How's your family? You know, she hug. How's your family doing? How's this? How, you know, remembering all of those things. When it came time for promotion, you know who got that promotion? I did. Why? Because they said, man, if you can marry a woman like that, hey, you got to be a good guy. You know, if she does it, you have to do it. So those are also the benefits that help me. People thought also that I think I was more angrier. You know, I was a little more hot-headed. You know, just let something set me off. And I remember one time where we were at the pool when she first came, somebody said something like off the cuff to me. And I'd go off, you know, I just was my personality. I remember pushing this dude and going off, and I had to look at her, and she was crying. And I'm like, oh man, because she started to see like, man, you're angry. I don't want to see you angry. I don't want to see you upset. Things like that. I don't want to see you get hurt. So I had to really back off. I had to reflect on the things that I was doing, because now she's a reflection of me. And I just have to look forward and say, I got a lot to lose. It's not worth it anymore. And so that's how it benefited. It put me in a different mental perspective to say, it's not worth it. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to, when you're with somebody who has seen you and they know you are a man, they know what you're capable of, the proving part goes out the window. It's like, I don't have to prove that anymore. She already knows where I'm at. So those are the benefits.
Wow. Okay. Great list of benefits. So how do you both handle criticism and skepticism from others regarding your marriage and her move to the United States to this day?
One of the issues is, when I used to go to DR, it was entirely different. Like, the only people that would be in Sosua were expats. They were like from Germany, Europe, and they were like living there. So now people say, oh, your wife from Dominican Republic, and all they conceive of Dominican Republic is Sosua. That's it. They don't see nothing else. And so they judge an entire population based on one city. I'm like, yeah, she's not from there. So those guys don't know how to vet. And so because their experience, and they become Western Union poppies, and they've done all of this, they think that every experience is like that. So it's almost having to defend where the girl is from because of the ignorance of other people. And you're like, you're just ignorant and you don't know. So that's it. What has happened, the concerns, I've become less vocal, and I think she's become more vocal, where, it's, this is who I am. This is what I've done. She's become more defending. It's like how you marry a black man. They say he got to be rich because he ain't handsome. And then, the people think he would change. It's like, oh man, she's going to change. She's going to get here. She's going to be something different. So it's all those little concerns that other people, it's really the outside world that puts you there. So those are the concerns that really hinder your relationship, because sometimes you're feeling as though you're always having to defend your stance or your situation or something like that.
Well, you are very helpful to somebody that may want to bring their wife to the United States.
Oh, we get to that last question. You might not like me when we get there, but
okay. So, what are your current concerns or challenges related to this significant life decision? Just kind of just describe that, though.
Yes, current concerns, brother. I'm older. I knew that when I got with her. The one thing about Latinos, they can have a baseball team and be happy. They want them kids. So it's a pressure. So at this time, children, that's one of our concerns, starting a family, starting a life. The concern is an age difference. I think she's like 14 years younger than me. That means if we have children, I know I'm dying first. I'm gonna be out of here. So is she prepared to take care of my children? As she said who she's going to be to get there. Where do we retire? Do we go back to where she's at to retire? Another concern I had was I was traveling way before I met her. So now you get married and it's like, I can't travel less. I still got to travel because that is who I am. Those are the things that made me who I was. That is my vet. I want to be able to travel. So, now do I travel solo? Do I bring her with me? Those type things have become concerns. Also, bringing sand to the beach. A lot of people say, can you bring somebody on travel with you? Yeah, I got somebody who can videotape. Right. You think about it. When we went on our interview, she right there with the camera. So people don't know. They're like, oh man, you took a picture. I'm like, no, that was my wife that took the picture, bro. That was my wife that set it up. That was my wife that made the reservations when we went to Fogo de Chao. That was my wife that said it's Austin's birthday. Get that brother a cake. So those are the things that happen. And then, another concern is Latinos, brother. They jealous. they real jealous. So you always have to watch out for that.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, I think it's easier for you to travel too because you're past my phase. You're past the phase of okay, I'm here now. I want to try this. You've already done all that from what I've understood. So it's yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say you're missing out on something. Yeah, you might be like, oh yeah, I probably could, but I've already done it. So it's not really like I'm gonna lose any sleep at night or be dreaming and not be at peace. So looking back,
I think you and I had that conversation where I said the reason one I like to go to Sosua is, or any of those districts, it's like I get to see the guys when they land and they got the big eyes. They're like, wow. I don't get the wow anymore. I don't have those effects because I've been so many places and I've done it all. So when you say, oh, you've been here, it's like, I rode on elephants. I've done with tigers. I went scuba diving. I went to, Christ the Redeemer. All of those things I've done. So I don't have that wow. And it's nice to go somewhere and you get to hear somebody else's experience because you're like, man, I remember when I did that. I've already done it. I don't have the excitement anymore. But it's always nice to hear a guy. It's like they took the red pill, bro. It's like when they took the pill, you're like, oh man. You see their expression, how they opened up, how they left the matrix, and it's always nice to observe somebody who does that.
So looking back, would you have done anything differently in this entire process of bringing a wife to the United States?
I probably would have started a family earlier. I think that I don't think there was a rough road for her to get here, but I would have made sure that maybe she would have had English prior to her getting here. Other than that, no, everything I think planned out went the way it was supposed to.
Wow. Okay. That's good to hear that you feel like you did it pretty good the first go around. Well, the entire go around. There was only one time, I guess. So how do you ensure that both of your cultural backgrounds are respected and integrated into your daily lives? Just like I guess how you said that the people at her job were like, oh, like they thought that she might be dating a white guy, but instead it was a black guy. Like culturally, it wouldn't be like that in the DR, I'm assuming.
I bring her to the barbecue, brother. You got to bring them to the barbecue. So, so I bring her around that culture. She got to see, she got to learn how to step in the name of love, got to do the electric slide. We can't do merengue, salsa, and bachata all the time. So, it becomes a cultural difference. So I have family that's down south. So we went down south. You got to see how that is. Some of the cultures is I can't always have my type of food. We can't always have her type of food. So we might have to fix it. We might have some barbecue with tostones. We might flavor it up where we're getting both things. Because I know when they fix like something called sancocho, there's a way that I like mine, and it's Americanized. So I'm getting the American version. Let's see some things that cultures. All right, she's not going to no R&B concert. She's not going to understand 90s R&B. She's not going to get Jodeci and all of that. It's just not it. I'm not going to get Romeo Santos. But, I'll go to the concert. They're going to be singing. She'll go to my concert. She's not going to understand Dave Chappelle, any jokes that he has. Just not going to happen. The culture is also Saturday morning. If you ever been Saturday morning with any Latino chick, whether the music is up loud, they doing bachata, merengue, salsa, they singing every song while they cleaning. I'm not accustomed to that. You got to get accustomed to the radio being loud on every song that they got. Saturday morning cleaning, crazy. Another thing is she's not a prisoner, man. And a lot of people don't understand that anybody who comes from another country has to maintain like their family. So, we'll take turns. Once every other year, we'll go down to like DR. Like we was in DR for Christmas over the past holiday. She wants to be with her family. I think a lot of guys bring their girl up here and it's like, oh no, it's mine now. We can't do anything with you. And that's how the divorces start because they're going to start to resent you. They don't want to lose their culture. There's certain things, even though you're not in the United States, there's certain things you still like about the United States. There's certain things that you say, oh yeah, this You know, what if you went to a country and they said, I mean, you can't listen to no hip hop no more. Rap? No, we ain't doing that here. We don't dance. You got to dance like us. You got to square dance. After a while, that's not the country you're gonna want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. So maintaining a family relationship is important. Other culture, we said if we're going to have kids, that our kids for the first 5 years before they go to school are just going to speak Spanish. Why is that important? If I have a child and they can't speak to their grandmother, you know, how does that make a family good? So the child has to learn that, so that if they learn it in the household when they're young, they'll be able to communicate that later. If you speak English, they'll never go back to speaking whatever that native language is. You have to understand it's two different cultures. She has to understand your culture. You have to understand her culture. They don't have a holiday like after, I forgot what it is, sometime in September. There's no other holiday until Christmas. If you go to a DR place, they got Christmas stuff up like October 1st. You're like, man, you know, that's how their way of life is. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Internet.
Yeah, so you got to speak both languages. So those things are important. They want to be somewhere where they can buy their type of groceries. You know, they want plantains, rice, and whatever they do. So those cultural things you have to kind of mix, and it's taking them to places that I maybe wouldn't normally go. You know, it's like, hey, let me introduce you to this, and she'll introduce me to her places. And I think that's the intertwine in any type of cross-cultural relationship. It can't be, you got to do it my way. It has to be, let's do it our way. You know, how do we find something to do it our way? And you have to have somebody who is willing to try new things. You know, if you're down there in Brazil and they're like, oh, try this food. And then you say, hey, I want you to try something I did, you know, cornbread. I don't know. They never had sweet potatoes, like a weird thing for them. And they're like, no, I wouldn't do that. But that's kind of unfair that this person, you're always adapting to their culture, but they're not willing to adapt to your culture. So you have to have someone who is open-minded enough to also adapt to things that you like.
Okay, so let me ask you this from this super chat, and then we'll get back to the other questions. Brandon Hayes says, in terms of vetting, are you saying this based on your own positive experience? In theory, you're right. A few men I know did that vetting and still have major but repairable issues. One man's positive experience can be another man's nightmare.
But here's the thing. I don't think they vetted. Austin, how many chicks have you been with before you went there and you seen the red flags? But because she was cute, you gave her a pass. Because she had a big butt, you're like, man, you know, I'll make an exception. Me, I was with a bisexual chick way back in the day. She was toxic. I stayed with her longer because I was getting the benefits of that. If I would have married her, it would have been a toxic relationship. I tried to justify it by saying she gave me this, so I can excuse that. We see the red flags. We see those things. So we're not vetting. I know guys that go there and they never met the girl's parents, or her mom is the same way. So it's not about my experience. Even in the United States, when I didn't vet girls and I dated girls who were toxic when I was younger, the consequences was toxic. I went to a show when the girl, like, you know, she was saying something, how she couldn't find a good man. But before that, she was saying when she got angry with her man, you know, y'all busted his tire. I threw a brick in his window. Well, what am I going to do with her? If she's already saying that's who she is, and that's what she does, it doesn't matter how she treats me. Those are things that people go back to. They revert to their nature. That's why if you date a girl who was a 304 or a stripper, whenever she runs out of money, it's easy for her to get on the stripper pole. It's easy for her to go to the streets and do it because that is her morality. That's what she's done. When you date someone who has a family history of not divorcing and is shunned on, when you date someone whose family looks at them and says, nah, you can't do that here. You know, they ain't none of that. It's entirely different. So I think we all see the red flags. but we all make exceptions for whatever reason, for whatever woman. And that exception is what makes us bad, or we stay longer than we should. I've been in relationships and I'm like, man, I should have left a long time ago. And I stayed there because it got comfortable. No, I've been together 6 months, 6 months, we've got history together, and 6 months turns into a few years, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we got history. So I love her just because I'm with her, not because that's the right person you should be with. You just made excuses for everything that they've done. And then you wonder why you get the consequences and the results that you get, because that's what you came into. If she was broke when you met her, what you think she's not going to be broke? If she was unmotivated when you was there, she's not going to be motivated. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to change that.
Okay, I would agree. So the next one is from Eric. He said, with $20 super chat, he said, this is a great interview. I'm in the process of bringing my Colombian fiance to America next month. I vetted her for 6 years. I'm 100% confident she will not be corrupted by the American culture. Congratulations to you. I'm glad that you feel confident in that, because a lot of men cannot. But we're here to learn today on how you can feel confident in that. So what advice would you give to someone considering a similar cross-cultural marriage?
What does she bring to the table? No, women here don't like to bring that, or they say they are the table. But my question is, what does she bring to the table? If you bring this woman here, how's she going to benefit your life? How is she going to make your life easier? What other advice? She's been in her culture for years. That's her culture. I think Andre from Love Crossing Borders said it when he first went to Colombia. He kept saying, well, that ain't how we do it in the United States. And that's not how we do this in the United States. But you can't do that. You can't say this is how we do it here.
Comparative shopping.
Yeah, you cannot do that. That's going to be worse. So the advice is, do not compare and contrast with that. Other thing, family is important outside of the United States. So you bring your Colombian girl here, she got to go see her family at some time. So those are advice. You have to budget money. She got to see her family. How to navigate the system. If I get, things that we take for granted. If you in DR, you get stopped by the police, you might throw them a few bucks and you out of it. That might not happen in the United States. Example like sexual harassment. There's really no sexual harassment. There's no way to file. And you have to tell the person here, now the rules are different. Things here are entirely different. Get to know her family, get to know her friends, get to know who she is. My question is, and my big thing was, when I first went there, or let me say this, when I decided that I was going to leave my job, I set aside so much money. And I said, this is my money. This got to pay my mortgage for this many years. And I have to make sure that after that, I'm financially going. Here's my money to go there. And I remember when I came there, I said, look, I can come there. I got 6 weeks off. I can come visit you. I ain't got no money. We ain't going to no resort. We're not doing this. So you know what she did? She's like, I got you. She found a little apartment that was $15 a day. Had the electricity, had the internet. We would go to the corner store and she'd buy like the local food. She would cook for me. We would go to places where like all like the freer stuff. It was like, because I'm on a budget. I can't be big balling. That let me know that it wasn't about the money. It wasn't important. We could do things on a low budget and still be happy. If you are going down there to Colombia and you continually take the girl out, it's not about flipping the bill, but meaning you're paying and she's not doing anything in return. She ain't washed your clothes. She ain't ironed nothing. She ain't cooked you a meal. She hasn't gone to the grocery store. She know you coming. She know you're going to be in a hotel. She know what you like. You like your Coca-Cola and Jack Daniels. You like these potato chips. Did she go to the store and get that? So when she comes over, she got a bag of groceries that she can put in the refrigerator right there of your favorite things? Or is it all about her? Did she find out what kind of shirt you wear so she can get you a nice shirt? If they not doing that there, you didn't vet properly, because they're not going to do it when they get here. They only going to think about what you can do for them. And that's no relationship is going to work like that.
Wow. I would agree. So How have your perspectives on cross-cultural relationships evolved since you got married to your Dominican wife?
Yes. So now, I'm like I said, Austin, man, I'm more cold. I wasn't really an affectionate person. Um, the wife said the words that we use is like he frio, he's rico suave es frio. I just was not a person who outwardly expressed how I had to feel. We grow up thinking everybody has an ulterior motive. Somebody's out to get me. I can't trust nobody. Somebody want to do something for me. I was always like, no, because if you do something for me, that means you want something in return. How did my perspective change? I got a new extended family. I go there and I become like more romantic. Um, I have a family that cares about me, that says, "Oh man, I can take care of you." That's concerned. Um, Even though another thing that changed was, I always thought, man, the United States is the greatest country in the world, until you go somewhere else and you see how they live. So that perspective on how the world sees us has changed. The culture, my perspective on food changed. I could eat out all the time. I could do the fast food meals and do that. And then you have somebody who says, nah, I gotta cook for you. I gotta give you nutritional meals. We gotta get the vegetables. We gotta get the fruits. You gotta go to the doctor. You gotta get the right medicine. All of those things are doing. So I feel sorry for the guys now who have to only date on the internet. You don't know who you messing with. They can sell you any type of lie. Or even the guys that go to other countries and all right. So when I was growing up, it just wasn't like that. You didn't have the red light district of Austin. It was undercover. You would never have gone to Susu and see what you see now. Even if a girl was tricking and she was like a weekend tricker, nobody knew, she did not put it out there. So I feel sorry for a lot of guys that their only experience going somewhere is to those places, because my perspective is not like that. My perspective is actually going and seeing how the culture is, seeing how the world is, doing, all of those things. And there's a whole new world out there, especially if you're Black, that you're not privy to. Example, there's places that I wouldn't say get into, but I would not know about if I wasn't with a Latino. It has open doors that I didn't go. You go to like, oh, there's this type of concert. That's this type of music. Oh, they got the hook up on this. You don't know. If you're not in it, you have no idea. I stopped looking at the country you were in and started looking at the person you are. So it wasn't about I'm an American or I'm this. What kind of person am I? Because none of that other stuff started to really matter. Yeah, you can be an American, you be this, but you still getting judged on how you are. So I had to change who I was from the inside to say, this is the person I want to be. But that whole perspective of how the world views, how the world is, it changed for me. I started to see the world entirely differently because of that.
Wow. Yeah, I would agree that you do start looking at yourself. And I've always said this, the more and more I travel, I think traveling matures you, because the more and more you travel, if problems follow you, then you are the problem. You can't go and have the same issues amongst other people or women, let's say, in Asia, Africa, and Europe and South America. It's just not happening. There's certain things I've had to work on myself, because there's no way in hell I've had a problem that was in Brazil, a liberal country, and then I went to somewhere like, let's say, Senegal, a more conservative country, had the same problem. It wouldn't make sense. So it had to be me if it was a thing, and that's why I say traveling matures you. So, what has been the most rewarding aspect of bringing your wife to live in the United States?
I got a ride or die, man. I got a ride or die to roll with me if I ain't got nothing. I got somebody who always checks my six. So I know when you video, I see you doing this. Like you can see somebody, you looking around, because you don't know the intentions of somebody who's beside you, who's behind you. You don't know if somebody coming up to snatch your phone or something like that. So the benefits, man, I got the ride or die. I got somebody who watches my six when I go somewhere. I got the benefit of going to other countries and being able to just mix in. Like we've been to Cuba, Puerto Rico, all of those countries is much easier to get in. I know someone who knows the role in the household. I don't have to fight for power. When I was with, a lot of the women here in the United States, I was fighting for power. If you are a masculine man and you are getting with some chick who's masculine, there's only two things that happen. You got to be ultra masculine, and you got to try to put her in her place. Domestic violence or something crazy like that, because now she thinks she's a boss, and now you got to be even bossier to do that, or you don't deal with it. I don't have to deal with that no more. I got someone who was traditional, who already knew their roles, and so it's no power struggle. You also have, look, how many countries have you been there?
21.
So the only reason you have the internet to share your experiences, like you say, oh yeah, I've been here, and they can share. But now I got somebody I can share my experiences with, who've been to the same places, that we can talk and say, oh, you remember we went there? Because all that you have at the end of the day, when you leave, you have memories. And those are the memories are the things that make someplace exciting. When you can reflect, you reflect, oh, I did this in Africa. I went here when I was in Brazil. I did these. It's not, if you only have that for yourself, it don't become fun. It's like having a new car and nobody sees it. The new car, you want everybody to see it. You want everybody, that's the new car. That's the new car. It's just like your experiences. You want to share your experiences with the whole world, because that's why brothers post in Sosua, like, look what I got. Look at this. It wouldn't be any fun to take a sexy picture of the chick just for you to have. They take it so they can share. So I have somebody I can share my experiences with.
Okay. So how do you maintain the connections with her family and the culture while y'all are living in the United States?
Well, the great thing is her sister had like a student visa. Her sister was in school, so she could come up here like once every summer, stay with us. Her mother has a tourist visa, so she comes up like once every other year, stays like a month with us. She has family in New York. The benefit now is you got WhatsApp. Not only can you talk, you can video chat on WhatsApp. So every day, she's video chatting with the family. We do annual visits and road trips, either to her family, or we do road trips with my family. You maintain the family because of the community, even though it may not be her particular family. There's like Dominican restaurants here, and there's like softball that they play. So it's like you can go somewhere and be home. That's why if you go to New York, a lot of people don't leave. They go to Washington Heights. Washington Heights is just a cold version of the Dominican Republic. Everybody there speaking Spanish. They got Spanish restaurants. So the reason they move there, or any place they move, is because they have that community that they feel comfortable with. I mean, here, like I showed you where I stay. We went out. I was like, look at every Indian here, because you got one Indian that'll move to like Frisco. They feel comfortable and they bring everybody else with them. So it's that community to have somebody that you can relate to, that you can socialize with. I know when you're in another country and you're walking and then you hear somebody speak English, you may not know, but you gravitate to them. Like, English? Where you from? Oh, what you doing? It's that familiarity that you're looking for. So that's how we make sure that she maintains value, that she communicates not only with her family, with my family, and you maintain that familiarity with your friends.
I would agree. That's I didn't even know about Washington Heights. I had to Google that really quick. So
oh yeah, man. It's basically DR. It's a code version of Dominican Republic in New York.
Okay, I think I've heard about that, but I just didn't know the name of it. So how have you encouraged any legal encounter? Not encouraged, sorry. Have you encountered any legal or bureaucratic obstacles since your wife moved here, and how did you manage that?
Yeah, I told you one was the speeding ticket that she got. That was bad. Not bad. It was just, she had never dealt with that. It was that underlying threat that we could send you back. 5 years without a green card when she was going through it. It was like through COVID. So that made it difficult to get like citizenship. You just had to jump over hoops. But a lot of things isn't necessarily with her. It's like with her friends. Like she might have friends that are here illegal or friends that don't have a green card or whatever it is. And it's always going through those obstacles. Uh, I mean, basic things that I never think about, all right, she got to change her name. How you going to change your name? Think about it. The name would be like Yanil Maria Josuela Consuelas. You go to DR, they got 10 names. It's like, all right, what's your name going to be? Now you have to tell someone who may have had, because in most Latin countries, they take the last name of their father and the last name of their mother. And so that's how they get the two last names. And now, they're here and it's like, well, no, I'm not doing that. Just going to have one name. That's an obstacle that people really don't think of. You have not been to Dominican Republic, but I'm trying to think where you have been where they drive like absolutely crazy.
Thailand,
all right,
Africa.
So like she could drive, she had her own automobile, but getting a license is entirely different because the skill of driving, but now you have to sit down and you have to go through like, oh no, I failed because I didn't turn the signal on when I turned. We don't turn no signal on. Those little things that became difficult. It's like, oh man, you gotta go in and do your driver's license the correct way. You got to kind of learn how to drive. For instance, she thought you could just go to the pharmacy and just get whatever drug you wanted because that's how you do it in other countries. You don't necessarily need a prescription. You say, I need this. It's like, well, why can't I do it there? I want some morphine or I want this. It doesn't happen like that. As I said before, when it came to even like sexual harassment, in their country, you might have somebody that's like, that's your job, you're on the line and you kind of feel powerless. There's no rules like that. So those legal things is no, you can't do that here. You don't have to accept those things from anybody. So those legal hoops of getting your license, getting your name changed, following the rules, taxes, I got to pay taxes. I got to file taxes. In other countries, I don't know if other countries file like a tax like we do. So, all those little legal hoops add up, especially when you don't know how the system works.
Okay. Interesting. So what impact has your wife's presence in the United States had on your social life and your family life?
Brother, I ain't never do no brunch. You see, we went out to do brunch and got mimosas. I wasn't no brunch person, man. That was brunch. I don't know what that is. I'm either going breakfast in the morning, I'm going to lunch. But now I get out, I'm out to do brunch. I might drink on a mimosa. I go out to more parties. And the crazy thing is I get approached by even more women. One, because it's a weird thing. Women, when they see you are committed, they want you because they see that, oh, he's committed. And I have her, there to talk. So my social life is, up on that. I think I drink a little bit more. I was never really a drinker, but, they like to drink Brugal Presidente. So, and most of their things are, let's go party. Let's get drunk. Let's dance. Let's do all that. So those social things have really kept me out. Dancing, brother. Now, I was all right dancing then. Now, you can send me anywhere. I got my salsa down, my bachata, my merengue, and it makes it easier to go to clubs where, you're like a black dude. You kind of already are out of place. And then when they see you get on the dance floor, it's like, oh, shoot, luckily I'm a married dude because the Latinos, they already think you got the swagger. They already think that, the myth of us being well endowed, and now you can dance and they see you moving your hips. You can't get them off of you. I get invited to circles that I wouldn't go. So whenever you bring someone, if you brought someone to the United States, or you went to another country and you meet some girl, she's going to take you just to places like she never went. Like, let's go experience this. Let's go experience that. So I've gone to places that I would not normally go or experience things that I would not normally experience just because out of curiosity. She's never been. And so let's take it. Like, let's go to an amusement park. I was like, look, you got to get on every roller coaster here. We're going to Six Flags. You got to get on this drop. You got to, let's do it. Let's go to this place, and we went skydiving. So all of those little things that get you out of the house and with going places, it changes your social life. It actually makes you expand more and see a different perspective of even the city you're in. I mean, you're in Dallas, and when you're there, you're like, oh, I was in Plano because that's where I usually go. I go to Deep Ellum. You go to the usual spots. When you got somebody who thinks outside of those usual spots, you're like, man, all right, this sounds fun. Let's do this.
I could agree. I've experienced that as well. I've had women will show you a lot of things that you wouldn't have thought just right in your own town.
Correct.
So can you discuss how your relationship between the two of you has improved or changed since you moved to the United States?
I think she became less jealous. I want to say that, but I can't really. Maybe she just doesn't express it the same way. I became more accepting, and I just had to, some things I had to say, like, this is who I am. I may not change on this. I don't have to be flashy. Those are things that I don't have to impress anymore. I don't have to have the new car, the new whatever it is. So, that I have grown with. I have nothing to prove. I don't have to say I'm six figures. I don't have to prove money. She knows the money I make. So none of those things I've had to do, which is absolutely great.
Okay. And how do both of you support each other in dealing with homesickness or cultural adjustments?
All right, you as a guy, you got to listen to women, man. That's just how it is. They come in after work and you got to hear whatever work story they had, so I support by being the listening ear. This happened at work. This person did this. So those are things you have to attend. I got to attend concerts that I wouldn't go to. I got to go places that I wouldn't normally go. Also, how to support. I had to teach her how to cook. Not cook her food, but I want to have my food. So, I had to do that. I think there's also a level of respect that she did not see in the United States. If you go to a lot of foreign countries, the women can dress very provocatively and dress very sexy. But it doesn't matter how sexy they dress. Guys just don't harass them. You're not seeing no guy come up and touch no girl's butt or doing some stuff like that. That doesn't happen. So she had to learn here. It's maybe a little different. How did I support? It's culturally different, man. It's a weird thing. And I know she'll probably get embarrassed by me saying it. Like, she walk around naked, man. I'm just not accustomed to, 5 o'clock comes, she basically taking clothes off. But that's the family down there. If you're in a tropical country, everything is hot. So it's always like, if she's talking to her mom, she has to make sure, her mom ain't nude, because it's just like, it's hot. I'm in my house. I get naked. And that's like, look, we have a son. You can't do that. You can't walk around. That culture doesn't do it, because in our minds, we always have like, that's bad. In their culture, it's like, well, that's the mom. That's my mom. That's this. So those are things that I had to learn and support. And then, the why questions. Whenever you bring somebody over, they just don't understand anything about the culture. So it's a lot of whys. Why do you guys do this? Why does that happen? There's stereotypes you have to break. You believe when you go to South Africa or Africa, this is the way everybody is. Maybe because if you had not gone there, somebody else told you that. So it's, well, why do they do this? Why is that culture like that? So it's always answering those why questions that the person would have.
Interesting. Okay. What steps did it take you to ensure that your wife felt welcome and integrated into your community? How did you make her feel at home in the United States? I guess I could say.
Well, one, when she first came here, I made her volunteer at a school. So the school was a multilingual school. So it was maybe like preschool, kindergarten, first grade. It was like, early development. So I made her volunteer there. Why? For a few reasons. She was embarrassed to try to speak English. But a 2-year-old don't care how somebody who just talking, they don't care how you speak. So you can, if you're learning a language at a young age, it's like, oh, you can fit in. We used to go to like Salsa on the Square. I used to take her as many different places as we could so she could get integrated with how the community is. There's things that, as a guy, you don't know about. I don't know where you get your hair done. I don't know nothing about salons and nails, especially when they say I want a Dominican blowout. You can't take her to Paul Mitchell, a white place, because they really don't know how to do her hair. So it's, finding all those things to make her feel good about where she was at and how the community was and feeling more comfortable. Maybe you have to drive somewhere to find people that are alike, things like that.
Okay, I'm sorry about this internet connection. So, what has surprised you the most about your life together in the United States?
The backlash from the Black community, man. I know this sounds crazy. It's the backlash from the sisters and other people. So, for instance, they can't. When she says, like, I cook for my husband, I clean for my husband, all these things I do, their thing is, why? Why you do that for him? Why? It's they can't understand it. So they're trying to explain you don't have to do it. And she's trying to explain, why wouldn't you do it? So it becomes a clash from the Black community because she's traditional and you're dealing with a lot of modern women. And so no matter, especially, if she's not at work or she's not or at work or in regular areas, she's not dealing with people who understand the culture. So, their thing is, well, why would you do that? You go to work just like him. Why do you cook? And it's not a concept that she can think. So the backlash from the Black females, it's, to see that, the backlash from other people, like I said, the Latinos or people on the outside can be really judgmental because they just think, oh, you got a green card, or you only you marry for bad reasons. They don't like, and another thing is they don't like to see your happiness, man. The backlash is when you are happy and you're satisfied, there's got to be something wrong. She got to be cheating. There's something, nobody can understand you just being happy. You're out of the country and you say, I don't like America. I'm happy here. What do they say? Austin, why are you happy? Why you this? Why, why can't you find a girl here? Was you not good enough? It's the why. They don't understand. You happy where you at. You enjoy where you're at. They don't want you to be happy. And so the more joy you have, they always are going to find something. You dealt with the girl in Peru. She ain't really like you. She must be a hostess. She's just doing that for a tip. She's not cute. It's always got to be something. It can't just be what it is. So the more you enjoy yourself, the more you like things, the more people are always trying to get in your happiness. And I'll bring this up and I won't bring it up again, but I'm bringing it up for this purpose. Because I know you and because we've talked before. I mean, I've had people that wanted me to go on their podcast or ask me questions about your mom. I'm like, the fuck, I don't care about his mom. Well, how does he feel about her? Why won't he go and defend her? I'm like, man, would you bring my mom onto a podcast? What does my mom have to do with me? And the purpose behind it is you must be your way for whatever reason. And we got to find out. We got to get his mom in here. He can't just be happy. He can't just be this. We have to try to dig into his life to try to find some kind of unhappiness, to find some way he's sad, to, if they don't affect you directly, So you have people that maybe you didn't go on their podcast, maybe you didn't talk about the situation, and they cannot affect you directly. They'll try to find other ways to bring that up and affect you. I just don't take part in that. That's not me. I don't need that clout. I could care less. You know, if someone when somebody said that, I said I'm good. I don't care. It doesn't whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I know the person personally, and that's how I judge it. I don't judge him on what you think. And that's what a lot of people here do. They judge you or your relationship on that. Another thing is haters, man. Man, even when she was going to work, there were people who knew me. This was back in Ohio. There were people who knew me. So they knew my past. They knew I was a fuck boy. That's just what I was. And they would always try to dig. You know your husband used to do this? You know your husband was that dude. You know he used to take girls on his motorcycle. So it was always a dig to try to take away your happiness. You know he's a player. He's going to be this. And so my thing was I just told her straight up, this is who I am. You ain't got no secrets. If somebody asks you, you can be like, yeah, I know that already. Listen up. So the what surprised me was the backlash that I got from people from outside who doubt what you can be, doubt you can be happy, doubt, you know. And I see some in the comments, she gonna change. Like, man, we've been together 11 years. So if she changing, brother, it's about time she changed, you know. Or she just here for a green card. Well, she's a citizen, so she's still here. You know, at some point, I don't know, you know, when that point comes. And if it does happen, if we get divorced, all right. I mean, I had a great ride. I'm good. I mean, I don't, but that's the thing where people are always trying to negatively impact what you do. But I was also surprised that by having someone good in your life, that you get the accolades, that people view you differently. You know, like if you got a good woman, Austin, they're like, oh man, Austin settled down. Man, he got a good leg. You know, so you can get a whole different perspective by changing the way people would perceive you.
Correct. Okay, it was frozen for a second, but yes, correct. So I just asked you there, how do you think your wife's relocation to the U.S. has influenced her personal and professional growth?
In other countries, you live for the day. You don't work. You know, you work to live, not live to work. So that was entirely different coming here. So that ability to go out and have fun, it was like, nah, we're in a work society. So she had to be more educated. How it influenced, you know, her family, or not her immediate family, but extended family. They think you're rich. They think everybody in the United States is rich. And so she was like, look, yeah, we're rich. You know, we can't. She has an open heart, and it's got to the point where we say, I can't help everybody. One thing I can say is she really never changed. She didn't become a different person when she got here. So I don't think those things influenced her. So that was a great thing. But I think she has become much more conservative since she's been here, in the sense that you can express yourself in other countries in ways that here you're viewed entirely different. As I told you, you know, I've been to McDonald's, like in Brazil and DR, and I'm like, dang, that girl got on the tightest pants, the cleavage is all out. And you like, man, you know, this is crazy. You can't wear them same clothes here. The clothes that she would wear to out in business, it's like, I can't do it because how I'm perceived and how they come at you. So it's being much more conservative in the way that you have to behave here, just because of how people would view you.
Okay, I would agree. And what ways do you think marriage has? You said you didn't want to get married before. It was never really on your bucket list. But now that you have been married, what are your views on love and partnerships and relationships?
I thought, man, look, I was basically like Floyd Mayweather. I was stick and move, baby, stick and move. That's how it was. I wasn't trying to settle down. I wasn't trying to be with nobody. Uh, One reason is because I was under the impression that by getting married, I would lose something instead of by getting married, I'm gaining something. So it's like I'm losing, like you said, you losing out on it. Austin, brother, I've done everything you can say you've done, and probably 10 things that you haven't, I've already done. I've done. I've done the group things, the fun things, all of those things I've done. And so I'm not missing out. It's like, yeah, I've done that. There's a saying, it's like I said, I never wanted to get married. There's a saying that you can have sex with 1,000 women one way, or you can have sex with one woman 1,000 ways. I already did the first part. Now I'm doing the second part. And you realize it is what it is. What to me, the pay-per-play was played out. It's like, yeah, you don't get nothing from it. If you look on the news and you see how many passport bros maybe died of natural causes, they just died. They're in a hotel room for 3-4 days, or especially if it's Airbnb, they're there till somebody comes. They die in the room until the people see them, and they don't even have a way to get back. Nobody cares about them. It's a fear to say, I'm gonna live my life. I could die and no one really even knew, or I would care. I've had everything I've wanted and everything I wanted to achieve: houses, motorcycles, cars, in the countries, made money, lost money, made money. All of those things I've had, but I can't take any of those things to the grave. I want a legacy. I want, my father, when he died, he said, man, I'm not really dying. I said, why not? He said, because as long as I have you and you have somebody and you have somebody, my lineage leaves on. It lingers forever. My last name gets carried. They'll look back and say, that's your great, great whomever, and that's who it was. And so I wanted a legacy. So that changed me to say, man, I wanted a legacy. Number two is I get to live longer. Most married men get to live longer. Why? Because one, we got something to live for. Two, we so stubborn that we don't make sure we take care of our health. We don't get our prostate and things done. So I get to live a little bit longer. Also, I found honesty is the best policy. I said, man, I'm too old to lie. This is who I am. This is what's going to happen. And it becomes easier. I was bruh. Austin, if you knew me, if me and you were at the same age and I was back there, I don't even know if you would hang with me. I was just terrible. I can manipulate. I remember having a girl at my brother's house. We were on the couch, the front door rings, and I'm here with my nieces and nephews. And the game was so cool because I had to bring the girl from the front door in, and I had to send the other girl out the patio. It was a shame because it was so much, that was normal behavior. My nieces and nephews was like, when a girl, they would come over and they'd be like, what's your name? They're like, you ain't gonna be here tomorrow. I'm learning your name. So all of those things were just, it really didn't make you good. And I had done it all. So and I told you before, it increased my production. I'm able to do much more than I could do before. So I wasn't losing out. I had all this thing that, oh man, I don't get this, this chick. I don't get this big booty. I don't get this. I already had that, I was mentally thinking that this is the end, when really it was just the beginning. You guys can't take your girl to Cheesecake Factory. I can go to Cheesecake Factory. We can eat Cheesecake Factory all we want. Ain't no judgment in my game. I can do it. I can. You got a chance when I roll my convertible, but I can roll a Toyota Corolla, and I still get the same amount of punani I can get. I'm good.
I would agree. Interesting way of looking at it. So, how has your extended family reacted to your wife's cultural background and her moving here?
Well, let's go with both extended family. I don't think her mother liked me in the beginning. you know, it's like he a player. So it was, you know, I wasn't going to be the good person. Now they admire me because they seen the process. You know, I push her to get educated, and it's, you know, for them it's weird because they, you know, I think her sister speaks perfect English, but like her mom and them don't speak English, and they see the transformation. Like, wow, you've been able to, you did not go there and stagnate. You know, a lot of people who go to other countries, I know girls that have come from Brazil, Colombia, wherever, and they worked at jobs they would never work at in their country. You know, it's like they had to humble themselves. She really didn't have to humble herself. She has extended family in New York. The problem with that was a stereotype. They just think we ate fried fish and watermelon, brother. They're smoked all the time. So it was changing that perspective that, nah, that's not how all black people are, because they only seen it through a narrow view. Like, that's what I see in blacks. They think that I was like, yo, you know, New York, how they have their accent and how they behave. And I'm, you know, not putting anything in New York, but they just thought that was the entire culture because that's the only way that they could see it. So at first it was very different. Then it was, oh man, let's try something. So let's try new foods. Let's try new things. Oh, he's actually improved her life. And as they say, the proof is in the pudding. With my family, it was finally, like, bro, you finally, you know, you got somebody who's good, somebody who takes care of you. It's a shame, like when my sisters call, it's more for my wife than for me. You know, how my sister doing? What's she doing? So it makes you actually closer to your family and friends, because there's a little more respect that goes there. If you look at the majority of CEOs, whomever they are, they're all family men. Why? Because you don't have, it takes energy, man. Look, I know it takes energy to find different hoes all the time. You go to a different country and you're like, I'm about to get this chick. I got this chick I got to call. She flaked on me. She flaked. It's a lot of energy that you have to expend getting that evolving door, where you can spend your energy doing other things and have somebody in your corner that says, man, I'm looking out for you, bro.
I would agree. I've been considering doing that for a little bit at least, because it is a lot of energy, a lot of effort that I could be putting towards this, and I'm spending on that. W. Mustafa said, when people don't know your business, they'll make some for you. Yes, that's absolutely true. You've seen them doing that to me as well.
I posted, look, bro. I posted accolades. I called you the day before, and I said, Austin, man, I know it. Because my birthday is December 16th. And I was like, I know he said 16th. And I called you and said, man, what is your birthday? You're like, my birthday here, man. I'm going to Brazil. I'm like, bro. So I put a post up and said, man, happy birthday to my fellow content creator, world traveler. Haters. Oh, y'all look like a gay couple. Brother. So there's just that hate that they go on because they see one dude just in the comments that Austin, he's 25 looking 40. Look at him. He looks depressed. What's wrong with Austin now? He looks so sad. Is he this? They don't know your story. They got to make something up because there has to be something wrong with you. And so they go with it. You know, they come up with their own narrative about who you are, what you do. Things they don't know. Oh, he ain't never cut hair. He don't have a barbershop. But what does it matter if he did or didn't? It's just what they try to put. So it's crazy that, you know, I'm glad you have the tough skin to do that, because I notice it also. That's what happens. Yeah. They make up their own stories.
Very much. So in the future, what do both of you aspire for your life in the United States now?
You know, basically maybe starting a family, creating memories, continuing to travel. So whether that be with myself solo, with us as a couple, or us as a family. So we want to make sure that when we do have a family, that, you know, it's not like they're waiting till their 20s to be somewhere across the world. They do that earlier. I mean, last year we went to 6, maybe 7. Let's see. We went Jamaica, Cuba, Thailand, DR, Colombia, and Guadalajara, Mexico. So we've traveled, so it's doing more traveling. Puerto Rico. I hear my wife yelling Puerto Rico. That's not really a country though. Puerto Rico, they speak Spanish, whatever. Puerto Rico. I think she's trying to find a remote job so we can do more. I'm sorry. She in the background talking. I can hear. And maybe I'll bring her on at the end. She'll say hi. But it's just growing like that. I think the thing is, you got the privilege of your mother being alive. My mother passed away when I was like in my early 20s. And the one thing that really affected me, like I told you in the beginning, I think Malcolm X said it, and I'll quote Malcolm X again because it is his quote. He says, "Why am I as I am? To understand that of a person, his whole life from birth must be reviewed. All of our experiences fuse into our personality. Everything that ever happened to us is an ingredient." So to talk about you, when someone wants to say, Austin is the way he is because of his mother. No, that's only one ingredient of who you are. And you can't make a cake with just flour. You need a whole bunch of ingredients. You've traveled. You've been on your own. All of those things make you who you are. So with me, when my mom passed away, she was a traditional wife. She never left. And I think there was a whole lot of dreams that died with her. Those regrets that I didn't do this. And I said, part of my ingredients was what made me was I don't want to have that. I do not, when I die, I can say I've done this, this, and this. I'll leave no regrets. I leave nothing for the graveyard to take from it. And that's when you say, what is our life going to be about? That is what it's going to be about. I do something. I say, hey, let's do this. So our future is taking every chance we can. Like I said, we jumped out of planes. We, what did we just do that was crazy? Every kind of thing. So it's taking that and having those experiences and then maybe sharing those experiences with the world. As you know, there's people who don't travel, who want to travel, who too scared to travel, and they live their life vicariously through you. They don't go talk to the girls, but they quick to be on their phone and send you a super chat saying, go talk to the girl across the room on the pink. They won't do it, but they want you to do it. So, maybe that is part of your mission, that people can live their life through you. So maybe that'll be part of my mission, to do things and say, hey, this is a representation of who I am, what married life can be, how you create memories, and the other side, because we only hear one side, which is always negative. The squeaky door always gets the oil.
Wow. That is a good way of looking at it. People could, my purpose is for people to experience. Well, I mean, I kind of know that, like, my purpose is to show people what else is out there throughout the world and that they can do it, especially if I'm young and they're older and they probably should quit procrastinating to do it. Would you recommend the decision to bring a spouse from another country to the United States?
Hell no.
Watching, and what circumstances?
No. I know I am being like a hypocrite. No. You want to know why? A whole bunch of reasons why. Most of you fools out there do not know how to vet no girl. So y'all gonna pick a crazy woman with a big butt and a smile, and you're gonna bring her back, and then you're gonna ruin it for everybody else because your experience is what you're gonna share with people. And because you did not know how to do it, you're gonna say everybody else was bad. That's why you got your simps, your Western Union poppies. You got all of these dudes who are doing that. And they say, I want to bring some girl back. You meet the chick over in Sosua, and you think because she looked good and she say you was special, you the one, you're gonna take her back. What else? Y'all looking for a trophy wife. You looking for some young girl that's just a trophy wife. She looked good. And why? Why? Because it's just like your new car. You just want to show her off. It's not really your wife. You just want to bring her back. Be like, man, if I brought this chick back to the States, all the dudes gonna be on me. So that's what it is. It's like I want to bring that fine chick back so other dudes will admire you because of what you have. Wrong. No trophy wife. That's not gonna get you anywhere. You're not financially responsible. You can't pay your own bills on time. You don't have the money to support yourself. How are you gonna support some other woman that you bring here? You don't have, in order to bring a chick here, you have to be able to support her, take care of her, especially if you're coming from a country that is in South America, Thailand, Asia. There is no 50-50. There ain't no, you paying the tab. Now, you do get things in return for that, meaning you may pick up the bills and you pay the things and she's going to take care of you the other way. But most of y'all guys can't handle that. Most of y'all guys looking for a slave or something like that, and then wonder why, you got this. Now you got this fine, y'all insecure. You got a fine chick. She look good. She got a body, breast out, booty out, looking fine. She taking pictures on Instagram looking great. You scared to leave her home by herself. Why? Because you think she's gonna cheat on you. Can't have your best friend around. Can't take her nowhere. Scared of her to go to a job. I know a friend of mine that wouldn't let this girl get a license because he was afraid that once she got a license, now she got independence. She get independence. She don't need him anymore.
Drive off in the sunset.
Yeah, this is crazy. So y'all not financially responsible. Y'all don't know how to take care of yourself. Y'all looking for it today, and you're not looking for the chick you should be looking for tomorrow, next 5 years, next 10 years. You're not looking for the mother of your children, because that chick may look good, but what kind of mom she gonna make? Yeah, if she got a single kid now to stay with her mama, what makes you think she's gonna take care of your kid when you get there? You want a traditional wife. You want that wife to cook and clean. But by no means are you a traditional man, or no means that you waking up taking care of business. No woman is going to respect you if you can't get respect for yourself. If you're not doing things that's in Latin community and Asian community, they call them machismo, the macho men. They macho because that's how they feel. That I take care of this, I take care of business, and I do that. The reason they gain the respect is because they've already done the things to get the respect. You don't. You can't find a good chick in the U.S. You can't vet her here. What make you think you can go to another country and get something different? She's gonna treat you the same way. They don't understand the needs of a chick coming from another country. She coming from another country, man. She gotta get out, and she cannot be a prison to her home. She has to deal with her culture, her likes, her individuals, her friendship. Just like I told you before, also, when you see somebody who speaks English, you want to be there because that gives you sometimes a sense of belonging. Everybody wants to belong somewhere. And if she's going to be a prisoner, she's not going to do it. Y'all going to pick a chick that's never going to learn the language. If you got a girl now and you constantly you on WhatsApp and you constantly translating from English to Spanish, and she's replying only in Spanish, that's an issue. That means she don't give a fuck about you enough to learn your language. It's all about her. And that's the chick you're going to bring back. You're going to bring back the waitress who ain't never did nothing but been a waitress. And then you're going to get here and wonder why she can't do anything else but be a waitress. So you're going to judge her in a whole nother way. She needs to feel comfortable. Y'all don't want her to have friends. Who don't have friends, man? You got to have somebody to have friends. Another thing is, y'all sell dreams of grandeur. You done went over there and made this life and you said who you are. Because I know dudes that did. I'm this, girl, I got this. Because you can be whomever you want for 1 week. You can be whomever you want for 2 weeks. You can show whatever you want on your WhatsApp or whatever in your background. You can do all of that. And then she get here and we're like, what the fuck you live? Where you live at? We in the hood. All of those things you sold her that dream are not reality. And when she finds out that dream wasn't reality, you wonder why she left. You just sold her a bill of goods. What if she sold you that bill of goods? Another thing is, y'all can't handle the racial aspect, bro. You can't handle it. You're going to get it. You bring your Asian chick over here, Mylene, people going to look at it different. Her people going to look at it different. They're going to treat you wrong. You're going to go somewhere and they're going to be like, oh, she can't come, or she going to get them looks. Can you handle when you go somewhere, you're a black brother and you get them looks from the sister? And they giving you that hate look. They look your chick up and down like, yeah, I can beat that bitch's ass. Can you handle that? Are you gonna get to deal with that the ghetto stuff? You got a little Asian chick that's 110 pounds and ain't never been a fight in her life, and you got Shaquia who 210 who don't like how she got natural hair. She want to pull it out. What you gonna do? So what are you doing? All of those things, man. So I say no because a lot of you guys are not ready to handle the consequences that come with it. It's a responsibility to bring somebody over here. It's not just bringing a chick over here and that's it. There's a whole lot of responsibility that goes with it. If you want to bring a chick over here, that's what you do. You tell her you're going to pay for her to go get a tourist visa. Maybe hard to get. Get her a tourist visa. Pay that $150 or whatever it is for her to go to the embassy and she can get a tourist visa. Now, if she comes over, she don't want to leave, that's on her. Or you see how she really acts when she's in the country. So now you vetted her. Now you know if she's just coming over here for a visa, she's not there. If she comes over here and doesn't like it, you didn't lose anything. You had no marriage, you didn't lose nothing. You lost $150 in a plane trip. Round trip plane trip. I can do that. That's better than doing everything else. So you can find out who she really is. Y'all get mad because you bring a chick over and she go to whomever, Jose that she was with before, because she found out that you wasn't nothing, man. you didn't do anything. If you have a chick that came from nothing and you bring her everything, why would she leave? If she came from nothing and she came over here to nothing, she's like, shoot, it's easier for me to be with Jose. Why be with you? You changed my life in no way. So, you have to, I say, no, don't do it. And a lot of guys get in trouble because they pick the wrong girl and expect the right outcome. And that does not happen. You want to bring a girl over, get her a tourist visa, take her to another country and stay with her. See how she acts then. Move there, get outside the resort, get outside of those places. If you can afford, move there, go there for a couple of months, see how she acts in that environment. Once all the flash is gone, once I met you at the club, but I got to go out, because you're not going to eat out every single day. Is she cooking for you? Is she taking care of you? Is she making sure that, you get all the loopholes, or you just on your own? So no, don't bring her back, because y'all not responsible enough to do it. I'm not saying I was, and I'm saying I got lucky. I just had a lifelong experience that I've done. Not new to this. I played ball, fraternity. I had chicks all throughout the way, had fines and had all of that. So I've been through that. I've been seasoned. A lot of y'all not seasoned, because I see it in your eyes when you go down to DR. You're like, oh my God, that girl give you a little bit, she folds your clothes and she say, hey, Poppy. You like, you on one knee. This is the best thing you ever had since sliced bread. You don't know what to do. That's that saltine cracker you can't get out your mouth. And that's how you got tricked. And don't think, bro, I know you said it before, Austin. A girl who 19 in DR or Latin America is not the same as a 19-year-old in America. She got much more experience. She got much more game. So don't think you can go there and like, oh, I'm gaming this chick because she's young. You'll find out real quick. It don't happen like that, brother.
Well, that was very good information. I will say this. I don't know if you've thought of this already. I think people should live vicariously through me right now. But I think your calling is to be the consultation guy for I want to bring my wife back to the United States. Can you tell me if this is the right girl? I think that's your $2,000 phone call consultation. I think that's your calling.
Let me see. I'm gonna have her come in and tell you. Hey, Yanil, come here. I'll see if she come in and can tell you if she did. She would be more on that, because she can judge the women. Women judge women. Beyond that.
Have you heard from Dennis Sperling?
I have not heard from Dennis Sperling.
Do you know him? Well, I mean, you know who he is, but do you know him personally?
I do not know him in person. I do know who he is. I know he's a lawyer, and Dennis Sperling, yeah, lawyer. Was good friends with Kevin Samuels. Actually, I think he married a person who was out of the country, or married.
Yeah, him. I think y'all would do well if y'all did a podcast together. I say that because somebody brought that up in the comments just now. So we'll talk about that behind the scenes. But yeah, that's a very I think that's your calling, is to be the consultation guy. You're the guy that determines if the marriage should happen or not from abroad.
She want to say hi to you, Austin. So I'll let the wife say
Happy birthday. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good. And you?
Oh, I'm in the camera. Yeah.
No. The camera on here. See?
I think I am.
Oh, no. There you go. Yeah.
Happy birthday. How's your birthday going?
It was great. It was yesterday though, but it was great. I went back
That's
to Brazil
good.
for the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just sit on my lap.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian told me you was in Brazil. I was like, oh my God, caipirinha. I want a caipirinha.
Yes, I had plenty of those yesterday. I had plenty. It's only
That's
alcohol.
nice. I love Brazil. We have we spent in Brazil like 17 days.
Mm-hmm.
It would visit like 2 cities. It was amazing.
Sao Paulo, all of those places.
Yeah. We do
Really, that's why next.
It's a big city, man. This is gigantic.
What's it?
Hang gliding.
Hang glided in Copacabana. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's the experience that we like to live. And the people and I mean, people travel for different reasons. But then when they travel, they go and only or focus in a specific target city or target little place. And they don't really go to explore the culture, the food, the places, and all the great things the countries have to offer. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. I'm happy you have a great birthday. You know, it's not the same here in the States.
And she was mad at you, Austin, man, on your birthday, bro. When we went to Fogo de Chao, she said Austin ain't shared none of his cake. That brother ate cake and he ain't offer us none.
Even no, because it was a lot of food, so we was full. And it was like, but I just want a little bite. So I make it take me back in the middle of the week. No, next day. And it's like, take me back because I want this cake. It's one of my favorite. And this is the only place we find here. They have that cake that good, the good quality. But no hard feelings anymore. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that cake. It was very good. Very good.
It was. I think you have fun and enjoy your birthday. Being a content creator is a little bit hard work. Why? Because you have people always trying to look for the negative. When you behind the camera try to show in the people another world, a different world, a totally different world where you can experience different things, and they just focus on the little negative. And then when I see your comments sometimes, or when I
It'll come back.
okay. I was driving way home, and then I think you shared it. Yeah, you shared the link. I would be live, and I was like, oh, okay, let me get. And I was driving on the way home, and I was listening the live stream, and it was interesting. It was like I was laughing. Remember when we went in Gloria, that you have fun reading the crazy stuff they made up, and I was like, what?
Yes.
And always it's like about negative.
Oh yeah.
Money.
See, the difference is, Austin, I don't care when people say those comments, I'll say something crazy back. It doesn't bother me.
I do too.
No, to her, she gets mad. She like try to social media. Who that person saying that? Who said that about you?
Because
why would they say that? Like she want to hunt them down and like kill them. She's like, why would they call you that? And so it's like,
no.
I laugh because she's my defense person. Where I'm like, nah, it's social media. I don't care. Keep commenting because the more you comment, that gives me the algorithm goes up. She don't like it. She gets angry.
Look what happened. I think and I try to, because I do, even I have a small channel, I try to do, be a little bit, stay away, because I'm not used to negative. When people come to me with negative things or things that are not productive to me, I cut it off because I don't have time for that. Like my husband and I, we can have disagreement in something, but we agree and address right there in the moment, and we pass the page. It's no way that we're going to keep going and going and going for weeks, for months in the same page, because it's negative and it's toxic. And we try to do not have that, and I don't try to have that in my life. But when they come with this, comes to me, it's like, why they war need to be so hated? Why they need to be so unhappy? It's like they try to find negative in everything. But I admire you in that way because, that doesn't affect you, that doesn't affect him. And it's affecting me more when they do negative comments about him than me. Because to me, it's like, but I got a great person, human being next to me, not just because he's my husband, just because the person I see and I lay every day in bed, but plus I know have my back the entire time. We have the back each other. And then it's like, why are you talking back about somebody you don't know? But I think it's love. When you love deeply and I mean, I've been teaching love in a different way than American way, coming from a really united family. To me, it's like you don't hurt and you don't touch what I love, because that's like a goal for me, and I feel like I gotta protect it. Even if he's a grown two man, it's like, but that's my tesoro,
Uh,
treasury,
treasure.
treasure. You know.
Uh,
So yeah.
So even with you also, she get mad because she'll be on the live stream and she'll see you pop up. And she know, here's the thing. I don't know the people. I can't remember. I get so many comments I don't know. She'll know the specific person. Like this person commented on my page, he commented on your page, he commented on Austin's
Because
page.
they're coming
You know,
to
he's-
everybody's page. It's the same haters, and they don't even know how to be a hater. They come attack you, and then after they finish with you, they come and attack me, and then they go to his page, and then go to other friend pages. I'm like, and but that, and one point that made me feel good about my life, good about who I am and what I have, because it's like you behind the screen living your miserable, sad life that you just can type. You know, they don't even have like the ovaries to come and put the face. This is me, and
the
that's
balls,
like the balls.
balls.
This is me. That's what I think of you guys. And you do no, they always behind the screen or the phone. And behind there, everybody can be whatever they want to be. But only the brave one can come up and say, this is who I am. What you gotta say? Oh, let's talk, you know?
So I'm gonna ask you because I know also we talked about it. So I know you hear guys that say, "I'm going to Dominican Republic and I'm going to Sosua." So what's your thought when they say that?
Honestly, I know the Sosua as a city, but all the activities going on in Sosua Beach, I don't find out until I met you.
Yeah,
And
see,
the
they don't
people-
go there. The locals don't
And
go
the
there.
people start talking about that. Oh, Americans go there for that reason. And when he said he going there and visit, I was like, why are we going there? You know, this is the place, and it upset me. And then at the same time, it was like, well, but I'd rather go with him and we go together, and I can see what's going on there too. The people
Yeah,
talking
because-
so, because as a local, we don't even paying attention to those places. Those places doesn't exist for us, because it's like it's so easy you dating in my culture, or you have a girl in my country or multiple girl in my country, that you don't really need to go to seek for prostitution or pay for, you know, for different activities. So it's so easy for us today then do that. So for us, it's like a little bit kind of weird. And even as a local, the local men and people being in the chat, because, you know, they know everything. No, they do that. Yeah, they may do it, but they don't going to pay the cent that you pay. Second, they're going to have it easy the way that you have to put all the effort, because it's the language. They don't play no messing around. It's like, let's do it. Bye. We in and out. No, some guys is like they wanted this
Yeah, they try to turn
interaction with these workers.
they turn a hoe into a housewife. That's what they try to do, and you can't do that. They don't understand the difference. That they two different kind of people, two different lifestyles. You can't do that. Yeah. So so as in vetting, I think she's better at vetting some of the women, because she see through them. She go through that when they do it. My consultations, I'm gonna put a shout out there for you, Austin. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. You guys who want to travel, so that's you see I travel about 10 days out of the month to the countries. So I do more IT consultation. Yeah. When guys want to learn how to do IT, how to become a AWS solution architect or cloud dev, I'll do those and give guys that experience, because the limiting factor, and we talked about it, the limiting factor, it would be very difficult for you, Austin, to go out of the country and say you want to be a barber, because they don't make the same amount of money. You could not live the same lifestyle you do being a barber in Brazil. Country. So what separates you apart is you're able to make American money, but live in another place. And so when you work in the cloud or you do something like that in technology, you're able to make well over 6 figures and live in another country. And that entirely changes
your life,
how you live, your life, what you can do. You don't live like a local.
Yeah.
Your experiences are entirely different. So that's more the lines of what I do.
And we do the travel consultations sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes together, depending of the country. But yeah, we here for most than pretend to be like a perfect couple, no? No, we're
No,
not
we fight.
perfect. We
Look,
fight. Because I'm
I
really-
went to Colombia 13 times last year. She ain't like that.
No,
She
it
did not-
wasn't only 1 year. It was like
Oh yeah,
2
multiple
years.
years.
Yeah.
Like you
I don't like
you're
it,
like you went to
dude.
Colombia 13 times. I went to Brazil like 4 times, and
Yeah.
you're like, what you keep going down there for? I'm like, I'm filming. You know, I'll go film. I'll go somewhere. I might go to Brazil just for the weekend. And she, you know,
But you know, it's a marriage. It's hard. It's hard, and it's a everyday task. It's not like, oh, I'm married and everything have to work magical. That is not. We have our up and downs like every couple. But how you overcome those things in life? Are you keeping in the mistakes? As you grow and you learn, or you in the mature level? Like, let's talk. I remember when I moved here, he wasn't working. No, he quit his career. So I was working 2 jobs for a year and a half. So it wasn't like I get here, he got the money, I'm living my best life. No, I sacrificed my good work, like a professional work that I have working in the government in my country. I was director over there. And for all the on my city side, the north part. And that's a hard job. I have employees under me, and I quit that job for working 2 jobs for helping him. I working as a housekeeping
thank you.
stop it. I working as a housekeeping for 2 months. He said, "You want to work illegal?" I don't have my paper back then, but I feel like I wasn't bringing anything to home, and he support me and everything. And I feel like I don't like this feeling. So I got on my own and internet, look a find as a housekeeper job for 2 months. Oh my God, that was the worst experience in my life. No, because I'm not humble myself to do it, but I never was able to clean any other bathroom than my bathroom. And I was doing that. And then he said, well, but if you don't let the English, because he said, stay home, study English for 8 hours. When I work, you just focus on your English. But at that time, I wanna help too. We go in grocery, and I feel like he buy everything. I can't even buy anything. When he used to visit me in my country, I buy stuff for him. I buy stuff for us. I take him to dinner, to lunch, to nice places, and I feel like tight. I'm not able to do that. Even he got my back. So, and when he say, "Oh, I will change career," I was doing that job for a year and a half. It was 2 different jobs, but it still was hard. I coming from a school work to go to another work until 9:30 or 10 p.m., right? Come back home, do dinner, lunch for next day, breakfast, and then that was my week. But I was happy to do it because you're not married for what that person is giving to you or what you are giving in return to that person. You marry because you're in love. You marry because when things get worse, you stay. But when the things get good, and then you enjoy. And I think a lot of people are not ready for that because they want like things instant, just happen. Just let me meet this. Oh, Austin is travel. Maybe he got money. Let me see how I can get Austin. But you don't know the reality of your, or your bank account, how you really doing. If you live in day by day. And the perception people have when you live in another country is totally different.
Yeah, I think that another perception is they just think people in other countries are poor. And there's some people in DR, Brazil, Colombia, who have money, who are wealthy.
And all of us growing in a poor neighborhood. Everybody's situation is not the same. Both of my parents have a good jobs. My mom is journalist. She worked for the TV. My dad used to work for immigration. He was the boss of all the department immigration before he passed. So my sister and I have a great life. I was traveling before I met you.
Yeah, so that's why
I have my career.
That's what I was trying to tell the guy.
I don't even want to come here. I don't want to come to the States. Now I'm living here for a while. If we decide to move to the R and live like a half and a half, you need to do something for me too, because I've been here adapting to the culture, learning a new culture, dealing with a new language. when everything is different where you grow, the place you were born and growing up. It's hard, especially when all the time you be judgment.
I got a question for you, Austin. So, did you hug Austin? You know, she's a hugger. So she meets somebody and they hug. That's how it is.
I don't think
No.
just like that.
Yeah.
You know?
So, do you find that the women in Latin America, or maybe even Africa, are more affectionate? Because she says I'm like dry, I'm this. Do you find that they're like really more romantic? Like they love a little bit deeper. How do you? What's your experience?
I would say in Latin America they're very affectionate. In Africa, not really.
Oh, okay.
Not
Really?
really. Yeah,
How
in
they are,
Africa.
like a little bit like because when I hug American people, this is the hug. You know, when in my culture we do this, we hug you and do this in your back when somebody passed.
Yeah, it's like an insult.
So when people here hug me like this, and I hug him with all my heart because it's only us at home, and I see a new friend and I make a new friend, and you hug me like that, I'm like, man, what is this about? Nobody there. So how is in Africa?
They are just very. I would say it's just very basic. I mean, they're nicer, but when it comes to like physical touch, they're not very kissy or huggy. They'll do it, but it's not like Latin America where it'll just shock you. Like the Latinas just shock you with how touchy they are.
And
And and it's different because I put a post up with me dancing with her cousin. Her cousin stacked. Her cousin got a booty and a body.
she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
I mean, all
But-
my cousins.
Yeah, but I put a video dancing, and when you dance merengue or bachata, y'all like close, and so they just see her butt moving, her hips moving, and they like, "Where your wife at?" I'm like, "Who do you think filming me right now?" And their culture
It's so
is
much
nothing.
controversy.
You can dance. You're dancing. It's not the same perspective. Like, oh, I'm jealous. I'm this. Everybody does that. So there's a different thing that I think that. And so when I say people got to understand it, she had a cousin that when I was there, I asked her, I said, when did your cousin start dating? I was like, she got an older man. She's like, what are you talking about? My cousin is single. I'm like, no, I just seen her out there dancing with this old dude. She went out, she's like, that's her dad. And you just would not expect like a dad and daughter to be like dancing, because in our minds, we see it as, oh, you can't dance with your daughter like that. You can't be affectionate and hold your daughter like that. But that's just normal there. We have this motive. And that is one thing that I think that if you bring a girl up, that you have to get over. You have to stop viewing things from this American mindset that everything is bad, that, this is bad. They don't have that same perception. And so it's very difficult when you're dealing with it's a cultural difference. You can't bring your cultural bias to another culture and think that it's going to be okay. It just doesn't work out for you. That will not work out for you.
And I think the ideal thing you can do is just know the culture of the country that you are going to travel in. Like when we went to Thailand, we want to learn some places that you can just don't show your arms as a female, or your pants or scarf or dress need to be under your knee. If not, they don't going to let you in. It's some sanctuaries where it's only for males, so females need to wait outside. We learn all this, but we learn all those stuff because we going to respect that culture that we are going to visit it. We don't going to be rude or disrespectful or say things that can put us in danger or in trouble. Because sometimes it's not, I just do whatever I want because I'm American. But you do whatever you want in another country because you're American, but that's bring consequence. Everything bring consequence. And I don't think when people think to travel, they just follow all the little things they see in social media, focus on that target specific activity, and don't even make an effort to do anything else. Like learn to say hi, how are you? Simple basic words that you can communicate with the local for a little bit. Ask for water, ask for your food.
And Austin, you talking about vetting. If you'd have stayed here a little longer, she had a cousin in New York for you. She fine too. She'd have had somebody for you. You wouldn't have been. You would not have. You may have stayed. You may not have gone back.
No, keep doing what you're doing, living your life. The time will tell you when you're ready to set up, when you meet the right one. And you can run in, you can do whatever you want to do. No, I don't going to do it. When it's the right one and you feel it in your heart and you see the good intention that person had for you, you can't stop. It's like you. And we've been like doing this for 11 years in the road. It's like, oh, the green card. It was funny in the interview. People, you was asking about. People were saying about the green card, the citizenship. I mean, you can get here, get your green card for 2 years, and you're done. When you have your green card, that is your purpose in life. But that person show you more, and it's still with you. It's something good that you have. Even the people say negative things about you. You cannot go against that. I don't meet him when he got money. I mean, we was both broken. I bring a little bit of money. When that money going off, I was like, I gotta work.
And another thing, I don't think people understand. Just because you have a wife, look, I've been on this earth, I've been on the earth a long time, Austin. I don't want to say how old I am. I'm a little bit older. I got eyes, man. I'm not blind. I have not got cataracts. I don't have glaucoma. I still know what a big butt looks like. When you got a chick, like she can pick a chick out that I would find attractive faster than I can. We walk somewhere and she'd be like, oh, that's your type. She looking to see if I'm gonna look back. So when you have that, when people say, oh, you angry at this, you got somebody who knows, because they're like, oh, maybe.
And it's the trust there. Yeah. The trust there. If I don't trust you, what I'm doing with you? I have to trust you, but also trust comes with identity. I know who I am and what I bring in, like the quote that you've been using here in America. I know who I am, but I know what I bring into the table, and I know who I am not. It makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when you know that, it doesn't matter. He can be alone in a room with a lot of women. They can be naked. And I know what my man is capable to do.
Naked women.
But that's the thing, and that's not coming just one day in 1 week. That take times, that take years, that take action taking place. And it's hard. I mean, I can tell you marriage is easy. No, it's not easy task, and most of the marriage fail. I think in here and in another culture is more because people in my culture, they teaching you fight until the end. Your marriage is not working. Go to the pastor, talk to the priest, go to counsel, and then the old people taking you, intervene, talking to you, give it to you knowledge. Try to you see the good. Go to therapy and things like that. And here it's like, oh, it's not work. We're breaking out 50-50. But yeah, I taking away 50 of your things, or you're taking away 50 of my things. What about the memories? What about the things that we are losing, like the family, the babies? I'm never going to say stay in a marriage where you are unhappy. No, if things don't work, but don't quit for every little details in life, in my opinion.
And I think even if you marry someone or get someone from a different culture, their even perspective is a little different. Meaning, like we talked about, like, would you take somebody's kids away or wouldn't let them see their kids? Like, she thinks that's like crazy. Like,
we don't do that in our culture. Like, I don't going to let you see my child. Why? I don't do the damage to you as a man. I do the damage to my own kids, because it's like, why my dad never was around, and eventually that kid's going to grow and find out, no, it wasn't me. It was your mom. Your mom don't let me see you. Your mom put all these things for avoid me to spend quality time with you. And I think as a female, sometimes we get so involved in our emotions that we don't think what can affect in our family members or our kids when we have kids. Like I always told him, we're going to have kids, but something that you don't need to be even worried about is I'm never going to put you on child support. You give to your child what you think he deserves, because I make enough money. Stop it, because I'm sitting in your lap, baby. I make enough money, then I can do it on my own. I mean, I can live it on my own. I can pay my own bills. I can pay the mortgage, and I can have my kids. That's how much I'm being made it. I'm proud of say that, yeah, because it took me years to get what I am. It took me years to learn the language, to switch jobs, to always look for better opportunity, to have my master, pay for my master, no debt. I mean, how many people here in the States can do that? Get your master with no debt. I was paying like course by course. And I'm proud of that because that's my hard work over their pay. Some people like to impress with their money. People say, you haven't changed when I go back to home. And I'm like, why I have to change? Why is the reason? I only have maybe a little more couple dollars compared with what I was making in DR, but in DR I was living a good lifestyle. I was living where you guys going for vacation, having my property there, having my car. Now my properties are rent, which means I need to always be checking on people, checking and repair the damage they make because I don't want to get off of what I buy with a lot of sacrifice working over there.
So I'm going to address some of your quick comments I just seen. Like, I'm a PhD. She got a master's because I wanted her to get a master's, not because anybody else.
But what is the point of you being a PhD? That's smart. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody can say your knowledge. Yeah. I mean, that's not made me boss girl. Have a master or PhD don't make me boss girl. Don't make me.
So you work, right?
I
you cook when you get
yes,
home?
I cook. I work. I clean all the things. The home.
Laundry.
Yeah, all the home things in this house. I made it. He don't even know where the things belong in this house. It's like, what is this? Where you put this? And I need to come and get it. That's how much he knows because I'm taking care of the home. But I also work. But also I know that even I make money now, even I can have a PhD. By the way, I've been working. I'm thinking about that. So I don't know. Then I will be like, I got a PhD. I got a PhD. But no, I know who is the head of the house.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. We didn't discuss this. See, a lot of you guys say my cash, this my cash. Have you ever seen your paycheck?
No, my paycheck going to the bank. We keep all the money in one bank account. The only thing I know is pass the credit card, because I know I'm not good in financial as a woman. You know, you want to buy a lot of things that you don't need, spend money that you don't need to spend. And I'm not good at that. So if I know my weakness, what are going to bring my weakness be part of a problem when it can be part of the solution, when he can be. And I'm happy that he deal with the money and the financial.
She never seen the paycheck come straight to me. And that's when you have somebody you can trust. So it's not about control. It's about, all right, you're the head of the household. You run the household. You make the decisions that we do. And remember, I said that's why you can't have a lot of guys have their girl come over because they don't know how to deal with that. You know, she made 60-some thousand. To me, that's not a tip. I mean, I make close to 2. I mean, that's good money. But I'm saying, you know, I just saved the money, so it doesn't do anything. But a lot of guys can't take that responsibility. If they can't take care of their own bills and they're not paying things on time and they're not being responsible, a woman will never trust him to take care of it. That's why a lot of people say, I need my own bank account. This is mine. This is that. And it's crazy because y'all the same household. If we can't split, we cannot split 50-50. The reason is she can't afford what I can afford. She can't drive. She can't take the same car I got. The 50-50 would she couldn't do it.
But by the way, he changed my car every year. I got a new car, thanks God. But we enjoy the life that we sacrificed for about 5 years, right? Yeah. 5 to 6 years, where it was like
she could see the difference is I think with a lot of guys, the reason I was able to vet is because I could. If you are a CEO or you are in any company or whatever it is, you have to have a vision. So Austin, when you it's no good. And here's the thing, I give advice for you. You can't say what you're going to be doing tomorrow, next week. Your vision has to be out. Where's Austin Holloman going to be next year?
Yeah.
Where's he going to be in 3 years? Where does he plan to be in 5 years? And you have to roadmap that out. And then if you are with someone, They have to see that you are taking the necessary steps to build that vision, to build that dream. The reason that guys can follow someone into war, their boss, because they are like a sergeant, is because they trust them. They know that this person, I can put my life on the line for him because he's going to put his life on the line for me. So the reason I'm able to do that is because she's seen the vision. And I said, look, we may not travel this year. We may not travel there. And you might be rolling in that Toyota Corolla, but eventually you're going to be in a Lexus.
I remember those days.
Yeah, it's like you're going to be in there. Just hold out.
Oh my God.
You know, she don't drive. She won't drive the convertible. I try to get her to drive the convertible. She won't drive the convertible out there, the Lex. But it's hers. She can roll if she wants.
But those things, like I always told him, those things don't fill me up, and I don't care about that. I don't care to drive a Corolla or a convertible. It's me, who I am, and when I get out the car, you know, my identity define me, no the money that I got. But the reason also all my money going to his account is because if I cannot trust the person that I marry and then that I lay in bed every night to carry material things, then I can get it like this back working hard. You know, money is something easy you can get in life. You cannot get help with money. How? You cannot dead and come back because you got money. How? There's a lot of things you cannot do because you have money. So if I cannot trust my partner and just that part about financial, what make us to be together?
And here's the thing, she saved my life. She saved my life in this sense, man. I was hard-headed. You know, my thing, I go to the gym, I work out, I do my abs, all of this. Well, one week I'm at the gym, I'm hitting it hard. And I'm like, damn, man, I hit it real hard because I can't move. Now she's in her country. I'm like, man, my abs is tight. You know, I can't really stretch them out. You know, I didn't know if it was something I ate when I go touch it. And she's like, look, you got to go to the doctor. I ain't going to
you
doctor.
Got, what's the name?
Yeah, I should tell her. I was like, I ain't going to no doctor. I'm all right. I'll be good. You know, because as men, we can just handle this. As long as I can walk, I'm pretty much alive. So I'm like, I'm good. I go, you know, I had a jacuzzi hot tub. I get in the hot tub. I'm like, all right, it's a little pain, but I'm all right. That night when I took a little nap, she's like, look, if you get up and you can't go, if you don't go to the doctor, I'm going to call 911 from where I'm at. I was like, I'm on the phone with her. I'm like, man, I really don't want to go to no damn hospital. It's midnight. The hell I'm up out of bed going to the doctor for? And she made sure she stayed on the phone with me the entire time. I get there and the dude's like, oh, you need to drink this juice and let me do this quick, like an ultrasound. Scan. As soon as he did that, he's like, look, bro, we got to take you to the emergency room right now. Your appendix is ruptured. You know, you spilling bile into your system. You can die. And I had to go to emergency surgery right there. And I was just I was like, you know, it's all right. I can do this, you know. But you need somebody like that who's looking out for you, who says, man, I need you to live. I need you to make it. I need you to do this. And that's what I said. The saddest thing we always hear is somebody who dies in another country and nobody's there.
Yeah.
They die alone.
Oh, even here.
Yeah, they don't care about it.
Even here, how many guys we know, they live in the single life and they die alone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and guys, they have money.
And that money, you know,
your
family, look, this is what your family going to do. They're going to spend your money and leave you in Medellin, Colombia. They're not even going to ship you back. They be like, bury his ass over there. He'd be all right, you know, and your money gone. By the time they got your body back, everything in your apartment cleaned out, they done divided it up.
It's crazy.
They don't care if you get cremated.
But good women's, one advice I can give it is, it's a good woman's out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good woman. So they want to be married. They want to be housewife. Bringing somebody here is a personal decision, especially if you don't have a strong personality. Why? Because you're always going to think about why people are going to say about me. And they will be focused on that. When you have a strong personality, identity, you can like, that's what I want. Things don't work, then don't work. I mean, I can be married today And a car accident can happen to me tomorrow. He's single. Or can be vice versa. I'm single. It's things in life that can just happen. And you cannot predict it that they will last forever. But until we can, we're trying and we fight for it. But you need to be in love. You need to know your purpose and the direction that you're going. If you don't know your direction and you just want to jump here, jump there, then if you don't want to be married, then why you keep looking for other culture ones? It's something they have that you're seeking for, but then you're so afraid to admit it or find a good one or live in that life experience outside, pay for play, or just the new social media way to meet people, then how you can experience that?
Mhm.
Or just talking because you hear other people say.
I think Austin look at the comments or something. He like, these some
Huh?
crazy people. on here."
I imagine they are.
Yeah, I'm reading
Yeah,
the
but it's
comments.
okay. I mean, that's what the social media about. Everybody have a different opinion, and I think we need to be respectful about other people's feelings, other people's opinion, and that's fine. Maybe what I agree, you disagree. Maybe my experience about marriage is great for now, but yours is not. But that, like when people say what Dominicans woman offer, I cannot speak with every Dominican woman in my country, but I can speak for the good ones that I know, and I can speak for myself, my mother, my grandmother that was married for 50 years. Like my grandmother was married for 60 years. She died and that's it. I mean, my other grandmother too. So it's like that's what I see. All my aunties, all my uncles being married for 15, 20 years. And we in the road in 11 years, you know? So every story is different. And again, you need to know what you're looking for and what you want in life. At the end of the day, everybody will judge, everybody will hate. And and it's sad that people don't like to see other people happy.
And it's what's going to make you happy, Austin. If you're traveling, you're having fun, eventually the person that I think what has happened in the United States is we do things that please other people. Everything we do is to make somebody else happy. And we're not doing things to make ourselves happy.
Mhm.
So when you start to do things to make yourself happy, you know, whatever girl you choose and she's best for you, she's best for you.
Mhm.
She not getting married to you to please your little brother, to please your mama,
Yeah.
to make your dad smile. She's there to make you happy. So whatever you do to make you happy and you are satisfied, that's all you need, brother. That's it.
And something we practice is like at least one a week or once a day. What you did to make you happy, what you did to make others happy, and what was something kind that you made for others. And if you ask these three questions to yourself at the end of the day, you will be like, man, I haven't do anything kind for nobody. What kind of human being I'm being? You know? So, but people don't think like that. Social media painting a big picture about life, and I get it, but I don't know. I will be who I am, and I'm happy to be like that. They can call me whatever they want.
So I got a question for you, Austin. So, Austin's 25.
Mhm.
How would he vet these younger women today? Because maybe they're not as traditional. So, what are you finding out there, Austin? What problems have you gone, and what advice would you give Austin for dating?
The problems I would say that I've found, it's actually a tough question. We might have to narrow that one down a little bit. Let's
All
narrow
right.
that one because we got to be
All right, let's say
specific.
this. Why aren't you settled down? Because there would be a reason maybe you didn't settle down, and maybe you're not settled down because you didn't find the right one, or what? Let's start with that question first. Why aren't you settled down?
I'm not settled down right now because I'm more interested in traveling the world. But I think if I was in one spot, I would get tired of putting all my energy and free time. Like I would like to do this, just sit on interviews for 5, 6 hours a day and live a normal. Well, I guess it is a normal life, but putting the energy to find out, what the different women are like in each country, each city, like it's cool, but damn, it kind of gets it's getting kind of it's. I would like to sit still for once a little bit, but I'm not
It's
ready to settle down.
raining.
I'm getting older. I'm getting older slowly.
No. So when you travel, we know what happened in the United States. We know what happened in Dallas. But what are some of the negative things that you've seen when you're out? And like, what advice would you give him to find that? Because I think there's people that say, oh, it's a culture. You can't find those women. Because I think you got cousins like that in your family that's still traditionally that's like that.
Some of the stuff that we complain about in the States, not largely, but it kind of slightly spills over into other places. I guess language barrier could be an issue. Not really an issue for me, but it could be an issue. I haven't found too many negatives. There's some negatives. Everything's not perfect, but there's some negatives. I mean, there's not too many negatives.
So what about how do you vet a woman? What's a good woman? And what's your experience with the women in the United States? What they say, how they might think you're not traditional, or they say, how can you cook, or whatever.
That I'm not traditional.
What's that? No, I'm saying no, not you. I'm saying the women here, in the United States, they go against you about finding a traditional type woman. Now, have you found that since you've been traveling, that a younger generation is no longer traditional, or what do you think?
The younger generations from, let's say, that's under 26 are less traditional. In the big cities. Let's say. In a smaller city like Asuncion or Cali, Colombia, not as touristy, then yes, you can find it more than a place like Sao Paulo, or because I've been to Sao Paulo only for a day, but I could tell based on what other people tell me, Rio, even in Salvador compared to Rio, you're gonna find more women that. I'm not saying the women in Salvador are traditional. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying you're more likely to find that there than in Rio. But I'm definitely not saying, because there's plenty of non-traditional women in Salvador.
And I think it has to do with the tourist spot. Like you go, if you're in Puerto Plata, that's entirely, she's from Santiago. It's not a tourist place.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have that same element where the women are used to, oh, he's foreign, he's this. It just doesn't present itself as the same problem. Or if you go to smaller places like La Vega, Mocha.
Like to the countryside.
Yeah.
Mostly.
You don't see
that mentality.
Yeah, it's more of a traditional mentality, even though where they're raised up, you just don't see that same type of thing. So maybe when you do decide to look, it might be best to get outside of that tourist area and to go. That's more of the better advice.
Yeah, because the women that I've met that I really do like, which is only like one or two, they live in hours near the big city. And Anonymous, I see a comment. He says none have cooked or cleaned for you, because I'm not really looking for that right now. Maybe I'm not really. I know I was complaining about that when I first came out, but that didn't mean I wanted that right now. I was just.
But you're not in a place long enough to really enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You go somewhere, and then especially whenever you go to a new country, you want to explore what food they got, so you're not like having somebody come over and cook. That's more time.
You want to go out.
Yeah, that's more intimate.
Yeah.
You want to be like, well, where the bar at? Where the club at? Where's this restaurant? I want to try different things every day. So it's a little, when you're not settled as much, it's easy for you to enjoy the traveling aspect instead of the more relationship aspect.
And actually, you know what? Now that I go back, I think I've had 3 women cook for me, and one of them was on camera. So apparently Anonymous must have forgot. He was around watching it. So I did.
It's like when I moved here in the beginning, I know how to cook Dominican food, but you gotta teach me how to cook American food, or not just American, because in this home we cook Indian, Asian, American, Dominican, any recipe that I see and I learn. But I have to learn the way that he eats. Like we eat a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of plantains, fried plantains, smashed plantains. He don't eat like that, and I need to learn that okay, this is my culture, this is the thing I grow, that I think that I like. But then he teach me what he like he like his eggs in a particular way. So I like my eggs a little bit more dry. I need to learn how he like his eggs, because what I'm going to give breakfast to you every morning if you're not going to eat it or you are not going to enjoy when it's just a little bit of adjustment. Just take my before and then yours can keep cooking until the way that you like dry, little changes like that. But how often we are open to those little changes for me or a couple, or partnered happy.
And I think that was one of the changes. The girl I had dated before I really traveled, that was one of the arguments we had. So it's like, I made you breakfast. I'm like, nah, you kind of made you breakfast because you made what you like. I got to eat it, but you really made breakfast for you, and I was just a leftover. So when I told you need to find somebody, whenever you say what restaurant you want to go to, what you want to eat, somebody who's looking out for your best needs, to say, what is Austin like? Like if you meet a girl, she come there and she throw out the Cohiba, and she like, I got something for you. You like, oh, she thought about me. It's like she thought well enough to think, man, I'm gonna get a cigar for Austin.
And those things coming from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a chick can pretend for you, but for how long a person can pretend or play that game. I don't know. I don't know if I expressed that well. Like you got a feeling in your heart. I know that's what he like. I know those are the types of things that he enjoy. Let me go ahead and do it. So I can pretend for a couple.
I'm sorry.
I can pretend for a couple for amount of time, but my entire life I will be pretending. It take effort, and and I don't know if chicks have that ability to pretend for that long or do it, but learn what you like, how you like. All these things matters because you want to make your partner happy, but you also want to be happy. If he's happy, he will bring me happy, joy, peace. But if I'm chaotic and I'm bringing chaos to our place or chaos to our relationship, then we both will be unhappy. And what is the purpose to be married if you're going to have unhappy marriage or unhappy relationship?
And the same thing, remember I told you, another guy said he was bringing his girl from Colombia. You got to see what it is they want. Like, did I ever send you money? Was I a Western Union poppy?
No.
I ain't send no money.
He never sent it, and I never asked. That's another thing. I never asked for money. He never have to send it to me because I got myself together at that time. Also, it's a lot of, you was mentioned about that, a lot of red flags out there. You cannot just meet one chick right now and next month, let me bring her, when you don't know the family, you don't know the background, you don't really take the time to know that person that you are dating with.
You can read that.
Brandon Hayes sent $20 for your fearless. At the end of the day, you have the positive outcome and you are a role model. Your girl is a special woman and a queen. I know I gave you some pushback on some things, but at the end of the day, you have the outcome. Also, in about 5 minutes, I got to wrap up the interview.
That's all right. Also, you got to hit that gym, baby. It's protein time.
Yes, we need to go to the gym too. And also find
But it's not the outcome. It's not that I'm a special guy. She got friends and family that are the same.
Yeah.
That do the same thing. That cook. They when you go there, that's what they do. So it's
that's what we was taught.
You was taught. Mm-hmm.
And we was taught like that. Like, I think you told that story, and then you can wrap it up, Austin. Like when we was just dating, we date for 2 years. 2 years. We dated for 2 years, and I remember he invited his friend to my family over. His friend from here for the stay, and my family cooked for the friends and for my family. We have fun. And I remember I sit and eat it because they say, no, we're talking. We don't want to eat right now. I sit down and eat it, and my grandma pulled my hair, like literally, what you doing? And she go off at me, and I say, he don't want to eat. They don't want to eat. The food is there. When it's ready, I come up and warm it up, but serve it. But
the grandmother was upset because she said,
I was
You're supposed to
eating,
feed your man
and
first.
I don't feed him.
How you gonna sit down
Yeah.
and eat and your man don't have food?
But
And that's what I said. It didn't come from the mom getting her grandma pulled her hair. Like,
yeah,
who you think
and
you
my
are?
mom is on me too. Like, I'm a grown woman. I'm been married for this long, and I still got advice from my mom. You know, sometimes it's like, hey, things get in this way. What I do, and I call, hey, can you tell me?
He said, do you go to the gym? Hey, look, you
No.
got to be fearless. You got to be fit with me, baby. I do not doing no
Yes,
fat chicks.
5
I ain't
days
doing.
of the week.
I'm not doing no fatness. You ain't gonna be that. You gonna hit the gym. She was smaller. She was like maybe 117 when I met her. But now we done. You know, I get her to the gym. You working out. I put on that bench press, them squats. You doing some lunges. I taught her the whole routine.
Burpees.
I got her doing burpees. We
You
do
do 100
110
burpees.
burpees a day. I don't play that. You're gonna be on my regimen because I know Latinos, y'all eat that rice, and I can't have
But
no
that's
Latino
only
to
your
get fat.
regimen.
I can't get no fat chick at the end.
But
You gotta be in shape. Also, you like to be in shape, you want a girl to be in shape. I'm not gonna have no six-pack and she's gonna have a beer belly. I don't roll like that.
But it's also a cultural thing. In our culture, we don't have this dedication about gym and lifestyle that you may have here. So you come here. There's another thing I learned. But all the things that I've been learning from him and he been learning from me is because I decided to do. I decided to grow. He can say whatever he want to say, but at the end of the day, it's my decision. I want to be better or I want to stay in that way. I want to be healthy or want to be unhealthy.
I'm gonna throw you right here because I know Austin look like
Yes.
Go. It's
Okay.
protein time.
Bye.
It's protein
Thank you.
time. It's time to
Thank you.
get the
Stop it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Haters,
you.
we love you. You make our life so different because your comment, make us happy, make us smile, and all the things. Austin, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's a power. Not a lot of people can do that. And at the end of the day, you are doing what make you happy, and that's what is matter. These background noises is just noises. Good luck with you. Keep enjoying Brazil. Have a caipirinha in our name. See you soon. Bye.
I will. I'll do that today.
Bye bye.
So, Austin, you got any last words, brother? I greatly appreciate you bringing me on. I hope that we got some good information for the guys. I know there's people out there who always think negatively and do that. Maybe I changed some opinions. Maybe I didn't, but hopefully we did. And, whatever you choose, always say just be fearless in your choices. That's it.
I would say my last words are, if you guys plan on bringing your wife back to the United States, don't ask me, even though I'm the only one. Ask Fearless right here. Ask him. Don't ask me. Ask him. Get a consultation. He and his wife will vet your wife for you.
Hey,
is what I'm
that's true.
That's the plan. That's what I think his calling is, because the information he gave today told me that. And also, can you? So you say you have two channels. You have Fearless Travels, which is right here on the screen, and the other one is Fearless Podcast. And I'll tag it in the title as well.
All right, I'll send that to you on WhatsApp. So you can put that in. I think it's shit. I can't get to the chat because I'm not in. But yes, Fearless Podcast. I got a link to it in my Fearless channel, so you'll do good. But
okay.
And we're gonna get next time I see you, brother. We hitting the gym. We didn't get a chance to hit the gym when you was here, and I'm gonna get you get some pounds on you, get you under there. So we're gonna have to get to the gym, get some menu. I'll bring you down some protein. Maybe I can get to Brazil or something before you get across the way to the Middle East. If not, I'll catch you on a return trip. So it'll be good.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got my number, so I'll be in Brazil for a little while for sure. I'm stuck here now, so
that's all right, brother. Stay positive, stay good. I don't have to tell you about the haters. Don't worry about what they say. Stay on your square, do what you do, and do that. Half the people here to see you fail, half the people here to see you succeed. No matter what, they all here.
Yep, you're right about that. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you on the back end. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here so I can handle some business really quick. And I appreciate you coming on again, man.
All right. Thank you, brother. You have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Be safe, man. Safe travels.
Thank you. You as well.